Oh my God. Was I muted the entire time? Hold on. Let me. Oh God, that's not good. Whoops the daisy. Well, we're not going to upload this stream on YouTube, are we now? Well, I was sitting here giving you guys all my life information, my social security number, my bank account, the routing, and all that stuff. Oh my Lord, I was sitting here talking. Okay, here's what happened. I noticed that I had audio issues and I control deleted and I killed the program, but then something else got my attention and I forgot to fix it. Oh my goodness. I was sitting here I was talking for so long. 3 minutes. Okay, guys, we don't talk about this ever again. Hi, Queen. Hi, Logos. I'm just gonna sit here and just say hi to you guys and act like nothing happened. Okay, nothing happened here. Ain't nothing to see. I'm a professional streamer. Yeah. Hi, Lemon Baked. How's it going? How are you guys doing today? Did you guys have a good weekend? Oh God, okay. Hold on a second. I gotta recap everything that I just said for the past 3 minutes. I think we started off with, hi guys. Happy Tuesday. I'm sorry I started to stream so late today because my dog was freaking out. There was a fly flying around and Cheryl is just deathly afraid of flies. It's really sad. He was panting. He was like quaking. I was about to start stream and I could hear him pitter pattering downstairs. And I was like, yo, what's up with Cheryl down there? So I went down there and there was a fly and I had to go kill it, but I couldn't find it. So now he's up here in the room with me. Hopefully I got you guys should, if you guys ever have fly issues, there's this electric fly swatter that works wonderful. You just like, boop, just swat it and then just dies, okay? It just dies really easily, but yeah. Anyway, so I was trying to find this fly. I couldn't find it, and then I just gave up, and yeah, Cheryl's sitting here with me right now. But garden stuff, oh no, geez. For some reason, I have this big tree that's in my yard. 2 of the branches just randomly fell off the tree. It was so weird. Initially, it was the top branch, right? It was like the highest branch on the tree. And I was like, okay, well, maybe there was like a fat cat or maybe a fat eagle came by and sat on it and the damn branch just broke off. The whole branch just broke off. And so I was like, okay, well, this is kind of weird, whatever. And we kind of just left it there. I moved it off my rose bushes because it fell on some of them. And a couple days afterwards, another damn branch fell off as well. And I was like, what is going on with this damn tree? Why are the branches falling off? I don't know. Either I have a really fat cat or raccoon, or maybe there's an eagle popping by or something like that. But the branches kept falling off, and I wasn't sure if it was because maybe the tree is sick or something. There was some brown growth on there. But we called the tree trimmer, and when I think of tree trimmer, I'm thinking like, you have someone come in, cut off the dead branch or cut off the branches that are dangling, and then maybe like trim the tree to make it look nice. But Dennis's definition of a tree trimmer is to hack the tree in half. So I got this ugly, hacked up tree in front of my house right now. And at least my roses, they're happy because they're getting a lot more sun. There's no shade anymore, but it is just bright, okay? It's just bright, but at least I don't have to worry about branches falling off. But if I showed you guys the before and after this damn tree, oh my God, you'd be crying. No, I saw the salt gun and I thought it was a meme, but I think it is a real thing. It looks really messy. I don't know why anyone would ever use a freaking salt gun to be killing them flies. It is so messy. Salt flies around everywhere. But anyways, the electric fly swatter thing works. And I usually don't kill bugs, but I have an exception when it comes to flies because they're disgusting. Mosquitoes, I don't want to get bit. And, I don't like gnats either. But usually for other bugs, I don't kill them because bugs are pretty cool. But those 3 are just no. Like I don't even kill cockroaches, okay? Cockroaches I'll keep. I just let you outside and you can just go do your own thing. But most bugs like are really cool. But anyways, today's topic, yesterday I took the day off because I wanted to, catch up with all the cases that's going on right now. We have a lot of things that are pending and a lot of just random ones just popping back in, like the Murdoch stuff. Even though Murdoch is done with his murder crimes, he's got the financial stuff and it's a whole mess. So I was catching up with some of that. I was catching up with the Kohberger stuff, reading all the court documents. The Chad one, I haven't seen the preliminary hearing yet, but I want to watch it with you guys. But I know you guys see this name right here, okay? I hate to resurrect this person back from the dead. She's not dead or anything. She's in jail right now, but internet dead, okay? I hate to resurrect her, but on my feed, there was this Bodycam video that popped up, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to watch this, and I feel like my chat might have, I think it'd be interesting to watch it. But Lietecia Stauch. I don't even know where to start with Lietecia Stauch. Oh, I just got this pop up really quick. No, skip this version. Please don't update. Okay. Because sometimes you be updating things on your computer, and when you update something, everything just breaks, and then it just goes into chaos. I don't want to deal with any updates right now. Oof. You watched Cockroach Town, didn't you? That's why. LOL. No, I don't know what Cockroach Town is. That sounds weird. Was there going to be a court? So with Kohberger, I know there's a court appearance today. I don't know if I think it should be streamed because the judge is so far allowing for for things to be streamed. He might change his mind in the future, he said. But I haven't seen anything like that popped up my feed. But if you guys do see it pop up, we can watch it together. I do want to catch up with. So today, this is our agenda for today. We have Lietecia, we have Kohberger, we got Chad, Doerman, and I don't even know where to start with Lietecia Stauch. That's the name that we dubbed her, Lietecia Stauch, and the other one was like Lietecia Stauch. If you weren't here for the trial stuff, you'll probably be a little bit confused, but the names are great. You guys did a good job naming her. But Lietecia Stauch, she was found guilty of murdering her stepson. And, the lies that she put out there in order to get out of this was just, I just want to say almost amazing in a way that this is the type of person who just has no shame whatsoever. The lies that she came up with, the stories that she came out with, how she changed everything. And it was just wild. Just to name a few, because there's so much and I don't want to overwhelm you, but just to name a few, she initially said that, I think she said that Gannon went out to play, he's missing. And then the cops were like, well, did you knock on anyone's door? She didn't. The neighbors were like, no, she didn't knock on my door. That's the first thing you would do if a kid goes missing, right? Knock on the neighbor's door. See, what's up? His friends and stuff like that. She didn't do any of that. And then later on, she decided to change her story and say that well, actually, someone broke into my house, or, I gave them the code to come in to clean to repair the carpet. I forgot which one it was. And they were supposed to repair the carpet. They came in, they left. They assaulted me, and then they just took Gannon in a suitcase or something like that. It's like, okay, well, why didn't you tell the police that before? And also, why did you clean the crime scene if something happened to you? Kind of weird, right? And so when she went on with the different variations of lies and all that stuff, and that didn't work, she tried to get this polygraph, she tried to hit this polygraph website to submit a fake polygraph. But then when this company realized that she was asking some really sus questions, they're like, hey, we don't want to be involved in anything illegal, so we're not going to give you the polygraph results. And then she was trying to call them back and get a refund. I don't know, that was funny as well, because we have the video calls for that. Or sorry, we have the telephone call for that one. But of her most recent ones, of the lies, is that she was like, you know what? Actually, I have a multiple personality disorder. Yeah, I'm friends with I don't know. She brought up Tupac or something. She brought up Edward Cullen, the vampires, and it's just wild. Okay, but let me tell you something. She was found guilty. Barely anyone testified on her behalf. Her brother testified, but testified for the state. She did have I think, was she a psychiatrist? I guess psychologist mix up sometimes. But, they had someone testify, and said that oh, yeah, she's got multiple personality disorder. She's got issues, blah, blah, blah. We didn't buy any of that. We didn't buy any of that mess because you know what? She was it just looked like it was fake, and she changed her story so many times that it's just I'm just done with this person. But anyway, she was found guilty, and we did make fun of her a little bit because apparently, she was submitting all these what are they called again when you submit them? It's like the prison staff system where you submit your complaints and all that stuff. Kites, that's what it's called. So apparently she was, she doesn't like the prison conditions. She's having issues. She don't like the food. She's constipated. We were laughing at her a little bit, but anyways, sorry, that was a really long introduction to Lietecia Stauch. It's because this person is a lot, okay? This person is the type of person that it's really hard to summarize her in one quick little sentence. You kind of just have to dig into a bit of everything. But anyways, I want to watch this with you guys. It's from Plunder Bodycam Videos, and they were able to get a bodycam video of the night that Gannon Stauch went missing. So it's a bodycam video of a police officer who came to the house and Lietecia Stauch. I just want to see her demeanor. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same old bullshitty Lietecia Stauch where she's trying to be lighthearted and laughy with the cops and stuff like that. But I think we might have heard bits and pieces of the audio in trial. However, now we got the body cam video, and I want to watch it with you guys, and let's see what's that. It's not long, so don't worry. I'm not going to pull you guys into the whole Lietecia Stauch thing for an hour or 2 hours or anything like that. It's just going to be a little quick one. And I just thought it'd be kind of interesting. But how are you guys doing today? Whew. I feel like I talked without breathing just now. The most haunting thing. Yeah, I don't know if she was a 5th grade teacher, but I know that she was working with kids. She was like a teaching assistant or something like that. The fact that this crazy person was working with other kids, I hope she didn't traumatize any other kids out there, because she sure as hell traumatized her own kid, traumatized her stepdaughter, and her stepson gone, missing, well, not missing anymore. Sorry, missing because it just showed up on my, sorry, I'm reading the thumbnail, the title stuff right now, but not missing, but they were able to find his body about like a month after. And it was in a suitcase all the way down in Florida. And yeah, I don't know. It's just really sad. I'm so glad that his family finally gets justice. But the fact that they had to deal with this for like years, like with this woman who just won't admit what she did, like just admit that you did and move on, like, I don't know, go to jail, sit and rot or whatever. But let's watch his body cam footage and let me know if any of the Kohberger stuff pops up. I haven't seen any videos from today's hearing, but if it pops up, let me know and we'll definitely watch it together. Other than that, I'm going to be reading some court documents. Yeah, legend has it that she's still constipated. She said she was constipated for 2 weeks. Okay, I think if you were constipated for 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure you'd be dead by then, because there'd be so many toxins in your body from all the poop buildup, and you'd probably be having jaundice and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you could be constipated for 2 weeks. That sounds like an emergency thing. Oh, let me adjust my audio really quick. We're getting like, I don't know why it's like this, but it's kind of like the fisheye thing. And again, shout out to Plunder Bodycam Videos for posting this. Popped up on my feed.
He has several jackets. Like it depends on, I'm very like fashion, and I was going to figure out a way to put this in there.
Who does this? Can you imagine? She could even put up a face. So like her stepson was missing at this point. This woman over here, she's laughing and looking at the carpet and like she's giggling and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Maybe this is like what she does with people with authority. Maybe that's why maybe she thinks it's like cute and stuff like that. And she thinks she can get away with it. Like, oh, she's full of shit, literally, right?
From the situation, but
at least you got a carpet. Yeah,
right. I just took it and like covered up with the carpet and stuff like that. But
does he have any?
This looks like the basement. Yeah, this looks like the basement. So Gannon's bedroom was in the basement, and in the basement there's also like a living room, like a secondary living room area. And I believe that's where the candle incident happened, where we listened to that horrible, awful, cringe voice recording that Lietecia actually recorded. And it was when she said that, Gannon had burned the carpet. But you could hear him crying, and he says like, something hurts. It seems like maybe he like burnt his hands or something like that. But I don't know. She's showing us the carpet, I guess, and laughing.
Friends around here?
Some lady online had noticed it, like messaged us and had noticed that was him, or the description. And she was like, "Was that him?" And I was like, "Yes."
Where was that picture taken?
I don't know.
Oh God! And honestly, I'm sorry I'm pausing this, but I just need to put in my little jabs here and there. But she's the type of person who is, what do you call them again? Compulsive liar, right? Compulsive liars, they just have this compulsion just to lie. But they just don't think about how later on some of their lies are going to be disputed. So just now the officer was like, well, okay, like, are there pictures? Like you said, there's pictures. Like, oh, where's the picture? She's like, you know what? I don't know. Oh God, I don't know. It's just like, you come up with all these lies and you don't really think ahead that like, hey, these lies are going to be disputed and you're just going to look really stupid.
I honestly have about 150 Facebook messages that I haven't answered people on because you guys.
Okay, so just now, in case you're a little bit confused why it was so jumpy, I think that was just like a little preview of the entire video. She shot him right. Not only did she ultimately end up shooting him, but the autopsy reports said that he was actually cut because like she was trying to stab him. He was cut like, I think, I don't have the exact number, but it was like, I think like 20-ish times. It was a lot. I think he even had blunt force trauma. So it seems like, I forgot which one was first, either the blunt force trauma or the attempted knife stabbing. But ultimately, she ended up coming back with a loaded gun and she did shoot him like 3 times or something. So this is not like, this is wild. He's just a little boy. This is wild. Like all the anger that you have, like it's not just like a spur of the moment thing. It's like this woman had 3 different potential weapons that she used towards him. Ultimately, I think that she had a lot of resentment towards the dad. And I'm not saying it's the dad's fault or anything like that, but I think she had a lot of resentment towards the dad based on the Google searches that she had, which were like, oh, I'm just a glorified babysitter. Oh, the mom doesn't do anything. I'm just babysitting the kids. Like, what am I doing with my life? Blah, blah, blah. I just think that she was really hostile towards her, her stepkids because she didn't want to take care of them. And she's like, oh, she thinks that dad is like running off. Like, even though he's working, like the reason why the dad was out of town for a couple of days is because was he a National Guard, I think? And he was just out for like, 2 or 3 days or something. But I don't know. I think she had a lot of resentment. And then all her anger just like bundled up one day and then just went towards Gannon Stout, which is really ridiculous because he's just a kid. Like, you know what? If you knew you had anger issues, if you knew, or maybe she hated the mom as well. Yeah, I think she resented her husband and she resented the kid's mom as well. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Tiny Ghost. I forgot about that.
I took the covers that he was laying down, and I just threw it on there because I got my daughter out and the dog's out. She was working, and it was something.
You got everybody now.
I know. It was something that we were just like.
Did he take his bike?
No.
Okay, because somebody saw a little kid on a bike. They posted it, but I didn't know if he brought it.
Well, he did, unless he took it sooner and brought it back because Lena ends up getting a bike.
So again, Lena is her stepdaughter. Lena is also Gannon's younger sister. At some point during the trial, she also kind of sort of tries to pin it on Lena as well by saying that oh yeah, Lena helped me with Gannon's body. Lena helped me bring Gannon's body into the car vehicle trunk or something like that. And I don't know. This person is just a mess. Like, she does not care about anyone but herself. Oh, have you guys seen this movie? I watched it recently. It's called The Strays. It's about this mom who one day ups and leaves her husband, her 2 kids. She appears into a new town and she's starting her life over. She's a headmistress. She's married to a white guy. She's got kids and she suppresses her kids from showing that they're black in any way. So she doesn't allow her daughter to have hairstyles that's curly or anything like that. She wants her daughter to have straight hair. I don't know. It's super fucking weird movie. But should I spoil the ending? Oh, I don't want to spoil the ending. Just watch the movie The Strays. But it's literally about a mom who's so selfish. All she cares about herself, and she does not care anything about her kids whatsoever. The reason why I brought it up is because this woman right here, it just seems like she does not care what kind of trauma that she brings on to her daughter, her stepdaughter, anything like that. I don't know. It's she even got her real daughter, 17-year-old Harley. She got her daughter and was like, hey, can you go get me cleaning supplies? And these are the cleaning supplies that people believe that she used to clean up Gannon's the blood everywhere and essentially the crime scene. But yeah, just a very selfish person who only cares about themselves. That's just what we're getting. That's the vibe that we're getting.
Okay.
And rides the bike because hers had broke. When she ran into him, I say ran into him as in not physically,
right.
But she somehow got his bike because hers wouldn't work. So he could have at one
they were
point.
Here.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were supposed to go pick him up for dinner.
Okay.
Blue
And he never
and
went
black.
home. They thought he was at his friend's house. He was
Yeah.
I just started sleeping. So
We
they were gonna
we
go
have
pick
him
up
on
down the road.
one.
And he was never there.
There's
And he never
one
went to his
picture of
friend's
someone.
house.
Sorry, there's 2 different conversations going on at the same time right now. And I'm I don't know if I should listen to her or if I should listen to the police officer.
That he was on.
Okay.
And he was taking the switch.
Do you mind if my partner looks around the house real quick?
Yeah.
Because kids, they hide. And
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
They can hide for hours.
Yeah, no, we've already checked the camp, the
Is there any other kids here?
ADT, yeah, there's kids here. I say kids here. There's my sister.
It is a nice house.
Yeah, no, he's definitely he was out there because they left.
I believe they were renting from this house, but this house was newly built. They were the first family to live in this house. Because later on, when they find cleaned up blood stains underneath the carpet where the mattress was, there's no way that she can dispute and be like, oh, well, that might have been from the family that lived here before us. No, you were the first family that lived there.
Blah blah blah.
So, just tell me.
Wait, really? There's a real life fundy mother who does that to her mixed race children. They run some kind of family channel. Oh God, it's on YouTube family channels. Ooh, family channels. Oh God. Not for the kids.
Y'all gonna go get at 6.
Yeah, so it was.
Supposed to be go back here, but you went down there.
Right. So
What happened between that?
okay, so
Wait, I had to look that up because I had no idea what a fundy was. Fundy, a fundamentalist, especially a religious fundamentalist. Or is that like a different, is there a different word for fundy? I've never heard of fundy before. And also keep in mind that she's not just like a new stepmother, like just came into their lives a couple months in and she's like stressed out, whatever. She's been their stepmother for like, I think 4 to 5 years. At that point, you definitely have an established relationship to these kids. I just find it so hard to even understand how she could even hurt Gannon. But here's the thing too, right? The police are there. They're talking to her, trying to figure out where Gannon is. And she just sounds so jovial. like she's just like, oh yeah, guys, and just like very like peppy, I guess. And like, I don't know. We saw in the preview that she was like laughing and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. That's just like red flags, red flags, red flags, red flags. I believe a suitcase was in the car trunk, perhaps.
Pretty accurate. Yeah. So, he did that. He didn't do that because you said his stomach was hurting. What happened instead of doing that?
He said no one. He said he had already talked to my husband about being on prescription. So he said he was going to his friend's house to play video games.
And what time did he left at 3:30?
I don't know the exact time because.
Oh, see, then now we don't got no time frame. She said that Gannon went to his friend's house to go play video games. But ring, ring, ring. Remember, the neighbors, they were like, she never knocked on our doors. She never knocked on our house or anything. And it's like, that's the first thing you would do when you're trying to find a missing child.
Because I was correcting his carpet thing downstairs.
Okay.
And he's free. Like my husband's like more free than I am with the situation. I kind of always like, who's actually going to give me their number? That's how I was with her. But like he's like, oh, as long as there's a neighbor ride, they can ride bikes, everyone's together type thing. So yeah. So he all the time they go and ride and meet friends. That's how we do.
Oh, they got doggo? Oh, I didn't know they had doggo. I wonder how she treated her dog. I'm always curious. People who kill other people, people who abuse other people, like how did they treat their pets? I wonder if we're gonna get a footage of when they go into the garage. Oh, was that a Frenchie? I couldn't tell. Wait, hold on. I have a quick question. Why not just turn the lights on, Mr. Officer? Mr. Officer, your job might be easy if you got the lights on. I mean, I know you got a flashlight and all, but you might just want to turn the lights on, This is like we're doing like a haunted house tour or something like that. Oh, doggo. Hi, doggo. I could hear it breathing. It does sound like a Frenchie. Frenchies be having that like nose thing,
Oh yeah, that's right. I was like wrong.
I mean, there's a switch right there, Mr. Officer. I don't know.
Did I bring my thing in here? It might be in there.
Oh, the laundry room. Is it connected to the basement? Wait, what is this? Is this the basement? Oh God, is this the garage? Oh, is this the garage? Ah, it is the garage, and that's the car right there. Oh my God. So at this point, we believe that she had moved Gannon's body, probably put him in a suitcase, and put it in that trunk of the car. Now, I think later on they found that there was a puddle of blood, I think, that was underneath where the car trunk would be. Oh my God. I think Gannon was like right there. Like literally like right there. And why does it cut off like that? What kind of body cam footage is this?
I think it might be in my car. Sir, I think it might be in my car, so whenever you're...
What might be in your car?
He wants my ID.
Oh, okay. Was this the car you guys had with you today?
Do what?
Wait, hold on a second. Do you really think she left her ID in the car? Or do you think that she was like, wait a second, I'm missing a police officer. Oh shit, is he in the garage? Oh, let me go into the garage really quick. Let me intercept him. Ooh.
Was this the car you guys had with you today?
What do you mean with me today?
Oh my God. What do you mean with me today? She sounds nervous to me. I'm sorry. I'm going to rewind this a little bit.
In your car?
He wants... Sir, I think it might be in my car, so whenever you're...
What might be in your car?
He wants my ID.
Oh, okay. Was this the car you guys had with you today?
Do what?
Was this the car you guys had with you today?
What do you mean with me today?
I mean, did you drive this car today?
3 times today. That's 3 times that he asked the same question. And she's like, huh? What do you mean?
Today?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I didn't drive that car today.
You did
It's
not
for
drive
her
this car?
today.
Okay, all right.
Yes. Oh, no. I didn't drive the car today. Mm-hmm. Wait, do we get to see in the trunk?
Has he ever hidden in anything like this before?
No, this is... No.
Wait. Oh, wait. Is he gonna open the trunk? Oh, he opens the trunk. Is there a suitcase back there? Wait, I don't see the suitcase. Wait, don't you guys remember a trial? Is it the other car? I know they have 2 cars. Is it the other one? Is there a suitcase back here? Maybe it was the other car. I remember what was also mentioned that she had asked, I think she asked her daughter to pull the car back or something, which is like kind of unusual, into the garage or something. And they were saying that like, oh, maybe she wanted to park over the puddle of like, where the blood used to be, the stain or something like that. I swear you can see a green and black suitcase in the car with an officer, but not sure if that's the one Gannon was in. Really? I don't know. I couldn't tell. Oh no, it would be so chilling. I don't think so. Yet. Oh. Okay, so Crime Curious says the DA said the suitcase is in the storage room. Oh, hidden under boxes, not visible on body cam. Oh, gotcha. Okay. I thought she had the suitcase in the trunk and they didn't check the car. Oh my God, that's so chilling. Like just being a responding officer and knowing that like Gannon's body was like pretty close, like just right there. Oh.
Oh, okay. So I was like,
Okay, because I thought she was nervous about the cop looking into the car because maybe Gannon was back there. All right, never mind. Yeah, I mean they're looking around. I mean they're not allowed to probably open up boxes and stuff like that, but they're looking around. Man, can you believe this was 3.5 years ago?
Middle initial or name for out of states.
Is there anybody down here?
Is the other dog? Yeah, no, just no one.
No one. Okay.
I mean, no one is down there.
Okay.
Do you know where the storage room was? Was it upstairs or was it in the basement?
Huh. It's my maiden name, so it's Harden, H-A-R-D-I-N.
Right, but I'm also wondering why the police officer does. Oh, okay, least turn on the light this time. Okay, Mr. Police Officer. He heard me. He heard me. You know, I was screaming in his ear, and he was like, you know what, Corey, you're right. I'm going to turn on these lights. He was walking in the bedroom earlier with no lights on. Oh, is this the storage unit? But you said it wasn't on body cam, though? Tisha in transit? No, I've saw bits and pieces of it where she was like trying to make her escape, Sarah. Is that the one that you're talking about? By Gannon's room? Downstairs? Is it this? Maybe they got another closet. Yeah, she tried to run away. Closet. I know, right? I'd be turning on all the damn lights. Never know what ghost might pop out. The carpet, I think we just glazed over it. Okay, yeah, never mind. Mr. Cop didn't listen to me. Turn on the lights. Oh, this is where the DA says he was. But it's not on the body cam, he said. Hold on, is this is not... Wait, is this Harley's bedroom? Was Harley's bedroom on the same floor as Gannon's? Wait, you're telling me she put Gannon's body in Harley's closet? Or is it after this? They shared a bathroom. He's... Oh, okay. It's the first room afterwards. Okay. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Tankless water heater. I see a red suitcase. I don't remember what the color of the suitcase was. But you said it was hidden though, right? It was, like you can't see it in the body cam. Wait, you saw a green suitcase? Where? I didn't see it. What's going on here? No, they opened the trunk of one of the cars. They said it was under the boxes. Oh.
Can we try Tom Edward
Oh my god. Oh. Is that why the boxes look like a mess? Just thrown on top like that? Yeah, he's like, should I mean, he's like trying to look through, but he's like, eh. Oh man, it's under those boxes. Yeah, because those boxes, I mean, look at the way they're all thrown up together like that. Who's gonna go through that mess? Jesus. And you know what these people don't realize or even care is how this affects like other people. Like remember with the Treviso video, we see The hospital staff were affected, law enforcement, you know, I'm sure they're affected, the detectives as well. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel so bad for this police officer because, you know, he's probably thinking like, you know, in retrospect, like, oh my God, like I was right there. I was right there. But yeah, ugh, so tough.
It's going to be 10127.
Yeah, this is Gannon's room right here. Also, I had a baby threw a blueberry all up on my walls and the stain is still there. I would think that like if there was blood, it'd be really hard to clean, but I guess apparently not. It's like you can get like the blood stains. Well, at least like to the visible eye. But I don't know, I still got blueberry stain all up on my walls. Yeah, I mean, he's like looking around and stuff, you know? Okay, I mean, I give credit because initially I just thought the police just didn't really do a good job at looking around. They just popped in and were like, we'll just look around, whatever. But I mean, he's looking. During Christmas, my friend brought her a baby and the baby's like really obsessed with blueberries. And I was like, oh, I got blueberries for you. Here's some blueberries. I fed her a fuck ton of blueberries, okay? A fuck ton of blueberries. And well, the baby kind of, I think my friend bought the baby over when she was sick, you know? But, you know, that she didn't tell me until she showed up. But the baby was sick and the baby ended up having a fever that night. And so when the baby was crying, because it was like sleeping in one of the guest rooms, my friend brought the baby down and she's like, blah! And just like projectile vomited onto the wall. And it projectile vomited on the walls. And it was all over my friend. And like, I couldn't stop laughing and wanting to barf at the same time because there was throw up everywhere. Meanwhile, my friend is like yelling like for her husband to come, but the husband was pretty drunk. And like, I don't know, it was such a shit show. And I was like, I don't even know what to do to stop this. What do I do? It was such a mess. It was just like, yeah, it was vomit everywhere. It was like bright ass like blueberry shit. And yeah, I still got blueberry stains on my wall, but I'm cool with it. It's fine. I'm not one of those people who are like, oh my God, yeah. But I mean, it wasn't on the carpet, thank God, but it was pretty funny. Poor baby. Poor baby. She was so cute and we were like, yeah, she just had blueberry all over her face and everywhere. He wasn't in here with this week. That stuff is down there, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I show him about the stuff? I just didn't want to do stuff on the cutter, the box thing. I think I still had down there. Okay, because you weren't in here. You weren't in here in the beginning, right? I didn't know if I had that box cutter and all that stuff in there because I told him about he dropped a candle last night.
Oh, okay.
And I thought I must have picked it up. I was just making sure. I didn't want you to be like, oh, just a box cutter.
Yeah, I don't know. She's like, I'm telling you, this whole carpet story thing is like really, really, really weird. I think something went down during the carpet story. I think she really hurt him, whether it was like she hit him really hard in the head and he couldn't go to school the next day because he was bruised up or something. Like I think she really messed him up the night before. Do I believe a kid pooped his pants and was like, hey, you know, it smells bad in here. Let me just light up a candle and then ended up like spilling it. No, I don't believe that. I think she hurt him. And there's a reason why she didn't want him to go to school. She didn't sleep that night. She had made a lot of like searches. And then ultimately she was like, you know what? Like, I don't want to face what I did to him. So I'm just going to kill him or something. Like, I don't know. It's so wild. But the fact that she's like, I don't know, this whole carpet thing, this whole emphasis, and she wanted to have it recorded. It was like really, 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 really weird. 1.0 or 27.0.
But yeah, I had to cut this. And I told them I wasn't even going to tell Dad. And I was going to figure out a way to put this in there from...
Yep, I don't know, man. Listen, when I'm nervous, I laugh. But I also laugh when I'm happy and when I'm angry too. But I'm always laughing. But like This right here, this is some nervousness right here. This is like, oh, let me try to like be really jovial and lighthearted just so I can bond with the cop really quick. And the cop's probably like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what box cut are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Sorry, I'm rewinding just a little bit.
The box cutters. But yeah, I had to cut and all that stuff in there because I told him about he dropped the candle last night.
Oh, okay.
And I thought I must have picked it up. I was just making sure. I didn't want you to be like, oh, just the box cutters. But yeah, I had to cut this. And I told them I wasn't even going to tell Dad. And I was going to figure out a way to put this in there from the situation. But
at least you got a cart. Yeah,
right.
And look at how much she's talking versus how much the officer's talking. She's just talking because she just wants to fill the uncomfortableness with her goddamn voice. Wait, so is that the rug that she cut out a piece of the rug and she put a...
And I told them I wasn't even going to tell Dad.
I think she cut out a piece of the carpet and then she put a rug. I don't know, man. I want to know where that piece of the carpet is. I think something's up with that carpet.
And I was going to figure out a way to put this in there from the situation, but...
At least you got a cart. Yeah,
right, I just took it and like covered up with the carpet and stuff like that, but...
Does he have any friends around here?
There is a... Let me look on this thing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a red flag right there. Red flag. I mean, again, I'm speaking in retrospect, which is like, huh, you cut out a piece of the carpet? Huh, you just put a rug on top? I wonder what happened here.
He did have this one, like, boat thing.
That's where you're supposed to be at down the road.
But they checked that already?
They went over there and talked to him, and they're like, no, we hadn't seen him at all.
Oh, okay.
He did have this, like,
And you talked to parents, right? You didn't talk to...
Yeah, Connor's mom came over, who is a friend.
By the way, her newest claim in trial was that she's got multiple personality disorder. She didn't realize it until later on. And then her family testified, was like, I've never witnessed her having multiple personality disorder, but okay. And that she and I think Dr. Reamer... Wait, no, Dr. Reamer. Who is Dr. Reamer? I think I'm getting Dr. Reamer mixed up with someone else. No, we like Dr. Reamer. I think Dr. Reamer was one that testified in the Murdoch case. Sorry, that was a pathologist. Dr. Who am I talking about? Who's the Dr. Lewis? Oh, that's right. Yeah, Dr. Lewis. Sorry. I'm sorry, Dr. Reamer. I'm mixing you up. Dr. Lewis. Yeah, Dr. Lewis was like, yeah, you know, one personality took over and then that personality left. You know, that's the one that killed Gannon. And then she didn't realize what happened. She actually forgot. She didn't know what happened. Look at her demeanor. Look at her demeanor right here. So this is supposed to be the other Lietecia Stauch, one of the other personalities that didn't know what happened. Actually thought that her stepson was missing. Oh my God. Look at her being so happy. Jovial.
He goes, hangs out with all the time. So they come over. The people here, the friends, they were just the ones that were the door with the bike.
Okay.
They came over. A bunch of people came over.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so...
Any
he
friends?
He did have like a little book that had names on it, but I don't know. I don't see it like anywhere specifically because like his wallet, he's not like a...
You know what? We do have body cam footage of her from earlier this morning. I don't remember her wearing this jacket here, but I do wonder if she was wearing the same like shirt and pants that she's wearing right now. She must have had definitely changed. I wonder if they asked her, oh, did you change your outfit? Oh, why did you change your outfit? What was your routine? You know, with the Murdoch thing, it's like, oh yeah, like, you know, like, did you take a shower? No, you know, after I had dinner with, you know, Mags and Paw, I went on the couch and just fell asleep watching TV. You know, I didn't shower or anything. Then later on, when they confronted him with the freaking Snapchat stuff and he was up on the stand, he was like, yeah, I took a shower. You know, I took a shower. I just forgot that I took a shower. You know, I just forgot, you know.
I teach 5th grade, and like, you know, you got your like really, really mature kind of boys, but then waiting. He forgets to like bring this or bring that or bring this or bring that. You know?
Still kid.
Yeah.
Man, this woman is around kids. Oh my God. Can we? I mean, I don't know. Maybe she did so well in an interview. Maybe she's like, when she's like with other people, maybe one-on-one or maybe in a group setting and maybe in like social settings, maybe she's like fine. You know, I don't know. There are some people that are just really good at hiding their craziness or something like that. But dude, I remember when I was in school, in elementary school and stuff like that, we would have some batshit crazy teachers. And I'm like, how the hell did they pass the interview? These people are batshit crazy. They don't like kids. They're assholes. I'm like, how the hell they're a teacher?
Yeah.
So no clothes are missing or nothing?
No, we actually lay out all the clothes all the time. Like for, you know, like every day at school, we lay out clothes. We do whatever.
Is his jacket gone?
He had on he has several jackets. Like it depends on, I'm very like fashion. So like it just depends on jackets. Like he might have this black one with this, or there's a blue one with this. And,
So he had a jacket.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Silver jackets. Like, I mean, you see the kid.
Would she say she's very fashionable or something? Girl, you ain't fashionable. Get out of here. She was fired from the job she was called into. Listen, she called off work on this day, and her excuse was, oh, it wasn't like, oh yeah, getting sick, I have to stay home and take care of him. No, man, her excuse was, my dad died, he got ran over or something like that. When that had happened like 10 or 20 years ago. It's like, what? When you want to call off work, you don't got to give them a huge ass sob story. Just be like, hey, you know, like, I'm sick, I'm not feeling well. Or hey, like, you know, like, oh, was it her stepdad? Get hit by a car or something, like, I don't know, something crazy like that. Like, yeah, that happened, and that was wild, but that happened like years and years and years ago. But listen, you guys ever called out from work or maybe like school and then like made up a story where it's like, yeah, my aunt passed away, you know? I always heard that was bad juju, because if you're saying stuff like that, one day something might happen to your aunt or something. But you know, I don't usually believe in stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't think I ever told anyone that, like, yeah, you know, my sister died. Yeah, it's just really sad. Yeah, I don't know. Because, you know, one day if they actually do die, you know, it's really sad stuff. Put on a sick voice. Yeah, I've done that before. Dude, you got to call them in the morning, okay? In the morning when you just woke up and you got that phlegmy throat voice, you know?
Clothes are missing or nothing?
No, we actually lay out all the clothes all the time. Like, for, you know, like every day at school, we lay out clothes, we do whatever.
Is his jacket gone?
He had on he has several jackets. Like, it depends on, I'm very like fashion. So like, it just depends.
Look at her complimenting herself. What she said, like she picked out his jackets or something. She's very fashionable.
Depends on jackets. Like, he might have this black one with this, or there's a blue one with this. And,
So he had a jacket.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Silver jackets. Like, I mean, you see the kid has, you know, like tons and tons of clothes, and he just, you know.
And I bet you at this point, these investigators are probably like, she fishy. She extra fishy. She extra stanky fishy, okay? But, you know, they can't really, they don't really got anything. At this point, they kind of like had to try to get as much information as they can from her and maybe not treat her like a suspect. Don't let her, you know, don't let her suspicion anything, or don't let her suspicion anything. Is that a word? Don't let her become suspicious. Don't let her suspicion anything. What's the, don't let her become suspicious. I don't know. That should totally be a word.
He has all that stuff, so.
Mm-hmm.
And he took, like, none of this. Like, these are his favorites. All of these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's gonna grab some more questions and.
Okay.
How long have you guys lived here?
500 running.
Maybe like a year and something now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have talked to all of his friends' parents in the area?
I'm not the person that talks to the friends. I don't have numbers. I don't say yes. I don't.
You ain't gotta call the numbers. You just knock on the house, knock on the door. These are the neighbors. Oh, look at her giving the excuse, because she probably forgot that, like, hey, when a kid goes missing, I should go try to pretend like I gotta go find the kid, right? But no, she's like, when the cops ask her, she's like, oh shit, oh my god, I forgot to do that. So she's like, yeah, I'm not the type of person that talks to. Yeah, no, I ain't got the numbers. Like, no, you could just knock on their door. Come on.
Say no. My husband tells him yes or no.
Motion X-ray Henry.
So he has all the numbers.
So there could be some friends that you don't know
Right,
about what you
because
could do.
I don't know the people like that, and a lot of the time
Who cares? Who cares? Your stepkid is missing. I mean, we all know what happened, but you know, I'm just yelling in the future. I'm just yelling in the past. Sorry.
was here, I had a job on the East Coast, so I had to fly back and forth for a lot. So I didn't really meet a lot of people, you know, like my husband did.
Who cares? That does not. Who asked? No one's asking about that. We just want to know: did you knock on their door or not? Did you contact your stepson's friends? Look at her coming up with like all these like unrelated stuff. Like, who cares?
And he's like,
He didn't talk to the
always want to be
neighbors.
the one to talk to everybody about it. And so,
Well, how about your husband? Does he talk to these people?
yeah, he's been on the phone with a bunch of them. He's in Oklahoma, Fort Steele right now.
Is there anybody he hasn't?
Yeah, because the dad is freaking out. He's like, he's actually actively trying to look for his son. Meanwhile, she's over here like putting on this damn bright jacket on, calling herself fashionable, giggling and laughing with the damn cops and stuff like that.
Been able to get a hold of?
No, he said he's talked to everyone that he knows of. The only concern we had is he was talking about the friend with the older sibling. and we don't know who that one is. That's the one we don't know
Do you guys have a name for that person?
because that we don't know who that person is. We've never heard him say like specific name. My husband.
She can't come up with any names. James says, search house, the neighborhood first. You don't need to be friends with everyone in the neighborhood. Exactly. If my dog goes missing, I'm banging on all your doors. Okay. I don't care if I've never said hi to you before. I don't care. I'm just banging on all your doors because I want to find my dog. I don't care. Right. Like, she's like, no, I'm not friends with them. Oh, I don't talk to them. Oh, God, no. Yeah, this is BS. So much BS.
So when he talked to him today, that there was no like specific name for. But he didn't give him a name. He just told him no. So.
And he took his game console bill.
Yeah, they have a couple of different consoles.
And I do want to know, at what point does she search, can they track down Nintendo Switch? Because I think she ended up being concerned that, okay, if we want to get real deep right here, like this is what I think. I think she hit him with his own Switch, and I think that's why the Switch is gone. Like, why? I don't know. I think that's what happened. Or maybe she wanted to make it seem like he ran away or went to his friend's house and Switch with him. I don't know. I think she hit him with his own Switch, man. I think he was playing on it, and maybe she hit him with it, and I think that's why it's gone. And the Switch was with the body. And later on, when she was like, oh, wait, the Switch is with Gandon. Oh, I wonder if they can trace the Switch. You know, with like iPhones and stuff, right? Switch, you can't, unfortunately. But with iPhones, like sometimes you do like the Find My Friends thing. And I think she was worried about, you know, them finding the Switch. But I don't know. This is just like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just think, I don't know. Oh, God, it's just so sad. Oh, but.
And one of them's gone.
Switch Lite. They have a 2DS, a 3DS. One of them's gone. It was in like a bluish black. Wait, no, that one might be in red. I don't remember. I just know in the video you can see that, or the picture that the lady had, you can see like he's got something right here and it's like far down.
Which picture is this?
So some lady online.
Yeah, what's the picture? She's gonna have to produce this picture at some point, you idiot. Is there a real picture? Or is she making it up?
I had noticed it, like messaged us and had noticed that was him or the description, and she was like, "Was that him?" And I was like, "Yes."
Where was that picture taken?
She doesn't know any details. I don't know if this is real or not. Maybe someone did like take a picture, was like, "Hey, is this your son?" or something like that, or she just completely made up the story. And because initially, they were like, "Oh, hey, like, can we get the picture?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know. It's like in the messages. I have like 150 messages. Like, oh God, I don't know."
I don't know. I honestly have about 150 Facebook messages that I haven't answered people on because you guys showed.
Was it local? I mean, was it in the
Yes,
Lorson
in Lorson Ranch. Someone put it on the Lorson Ranch page, and so
you have 150 messages. What if one of those messages was like, "Hey, Gannon's here. Gannon's with me." No, man, you would be going through all those messages, making sure you followed on all the leads and stuff. Even if the cops were there, you'd be multitasking and stuff like that. Oh my God. Listen, when remember, did I tell you guys like two weeks ago? I found this guy's dogs, okay, plural. Both of the dogs escaped from the house. It was like Home Alone, or not Home Alone. It was Homeward Bound. Two little dogs escaped from their compound and ended up in front of my yard. And then one of them, I took in because he was still there at night. I didn't want the coyotes to eat him. And the second one showed up out of nowhere. But when we messaged the dude on Facebook, because we found him through the Facebook group, the guy answered like pretty quick. Okay, he wants his damn dogs back. All right. She's like, yeah, I got 150 messages, but you guys showed up. I haven't looked at the messages yet. No, you'll be looking at the messages, making sure like go through each one and make sure like, oh, is there a lead here? Is getting around.
A lot of people just kept sending messages, information. First, someone said they saw him get in a white SUV. Then someone said they caught it on their camera. They were all supposed to be sending this to me, but as I was talking to all these people on Facebook, because my husband gave the neighbor permission to post it, you guys came and I kept having alerts, and I weren't gonna like.
Yeah, they're gonna go through her inbox and be like, "Girl, all these things that you were telling us earlier, they're not in here." I don't know. I'm assuming she might be lying.
You know.
Can you just let her know someone's at the door?
Huh?
Someone's at the door.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you probably gave some of this information to
done.
dispatcher already, but can you give us a description of him from top
Yeah,
to bottom?
so,
hair color, eye color, any article?
Yeah. So brown, very pale, like whitish color skin.
I'm guessing he's at this house, but they don't know.
Somewhere.
And then says on
And the parents may not know he's there.
And then
Yeah.
let's
Well, they
see,
said that-
410.
There was a weird text that Dad got about something
90
about bath
pounds,
salts
maybe?
and hey, if you
And then I
if
sent
I
you that
can get some
picture
bath
that-
salts, do we have any bath salts?
Yeah,
And my
got
friend
it.
won't let me play Sonic or something at their house.
He sent that to his dad.
Yeah,
I got it.
And then Mom goes through everything, finds a this is Parker.
Oh, is this a Victoria's Secret jacket? I think it says pink. Is that Victoria's Secret?
Yeah.
So fashionable.
I
I don't know. Something about a dad got a weird text about bath salts and something about Sonic or something. I don't know. I was
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
No, we're still getting the runaway report right now.
Harley. Yeah. Did you get it? Who was it?
Oh my God, Harley is there. Poor Harley. Harley had to go up there and testify, and it was, you can tell it was really, really rough for her. Really rough, because she basically just, I don't know, I'm assuming she kind of just doesn't really have any family right now. I don't know if she has any distant family or anything, but mom's in jail. I think it's really tough for her to have a relationship with her stepdad, because, you know, her mom murdered his kid, her stepbrother. I don't know. I just feel so bad for her. When she was testifying up there, it was really sad.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just didn't want any
There's
people, like, neighbors popping in.
I know there's a deputy viral who sells things.
Hey, A-Bomb. Someone in my chat said it was in the storage room underneath the box. I'll show you after the video's over. We got like 2 minutes left.
Yeah. So he wanted to
What clothes was he wearing?
blue jacket, blue jeans.
And had a game console that he left with, so he's probably at somebody's house right now playing games.
That's what me and my husband absolutely think, and we think
Blue jacket.
we absolutely think that, and we've calmed our stress level down after our 4-hour week over that.
Like a thick, heavy winter jacket, a sweatshirt, windbreaker.
No, like the ones I was showing you guys in there, kind of like a little windbreaker.
Wait, I have a quick question. How were they able to find out that suitcase that's not on the body cam was underneath the boxes? Did she come out and say that?
Yeah.
Because I thought she said that she forgot what happened, so she wouldn't know what happened to Gannon's body afterwards.
Okay, good to know.
Is there anything distinguishing
perfect,
about
yeah.
him? Does he wear?
Is that just what the
I mean,
prosecutor
it's
thinks?
all on.
No,
code for it.
no, they asked me about tattoos and earrings and
It's
all
just,
that.
like I'm
stuff.
gonna
There
end
was
up,
nothing.
I'm gonna
Okay,
end up asking
perfect.
a whole lot of the same questions that dispatch asked.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. If you hear anything from the school, let us know, please. All right. Oh, bye. There's Don Roy Cat.
Okay.
It is, right? Yeah, it is Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, we already talked to a bunch of people at the school.
Yeah, they used to
Yeah.
head of security.
Because
so
there was
they-
a game or something tonight, and so that was like one of the things we were thinking if, I guess, you know, they went to like the basketball game or something.
Uh-huh.
But
He said there was Parks and Rec going on. So
Huh? Smith.
yeah. What?
It was the off duty.
no,
Oh, okay.
he said somebody in the neighborhood or something.
Does he have a dentist he goes to?
If you guys want to call my husband,
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. We'll
Because
follow up because he might have a little bit more information. Yeah.
and I don't do a lot of the.
Okay.
He does all that.
How long's he been over there stationed?
He's not. He's stationed here. He's just at
Training.
Captain Career Course.
Okay.
And he was only gone for like 2 days.
So they go to a dentist. I think it's like,
Ah, okay. DA theory, blood evidence found in storage area. Gotcha. Okay.
like fountain dentist, maybe.
All right, we can
Everything
go on
else is on base.
We'll
'cause
give him a
it's- Yeah.
What's his name?
Al, A-L, Stauch, S-T-A-U-C-H,
Phone number?
843.
RO
714.
for valid protection orders. There's a phone number for the RO on your screen too.
That right?
Yes.
Are we back on 3?
I'm on 3.
They call me, thank
They
you.
call the code.
Switch segment.
Cool. We'll give him a call. Try to
Okay.
get some more information.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the medical, dental, you know, like he'll know like all that stuff because he takes them on base.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll go give him a call in the car real quick and see if we can get any information. Then
Okay.
we know what our then if not, we'll come back and or we'll give you a case number for
Okay.
the runaway and everything. Okay. Alright, great.
Look at her smiling at the end there.
Oh, we'll give you a case number for
Okay.
the runaway and everything. Okay.
She's like, yeah, I got away with it for now. Look at her smiling there. Ugh, gross.
Great.
Oh God, she's so happy.
I'm down here now, David.
I didn't see him.
Okay.
God, this is from 3 years ago. She ain't happy now because she's sitting in jail. Hi Tam, how are you doing today?
You have gas and electric.
Five.
Any choice in gathering any of those?
It's like bad now.
Oh God, I was not expecting this. It scared me. Oh God. Oh, hello. When was this? Is this recent? Date filed June 2nd, 2023. The hell am I looking at? Wait, is this her in 2023? Do they got tweezers in prison or something? How come she got no bushy eyebrows? Maybe she plucked her eyebrows so badly they won't grow back or something. What was this from? Is this recent? Is this when they arrested her? Oh man, the pictures are going by so fast. Okay. Ooh, greasy. I mean, don't look like she used her hands. She had other things she used. Poor Gannon. Poor Gannon. Apparently Gannon uploaded like a video on YouTube because he wanted to be like a YouTube gamer. Poor Gannon. Yep, she's a monster. She's so gross. Ugh. Oh, okay. It was ratcheted from the hospital. Gotcha. 129. Man. Let's see. The storage unit where the DA thinks Gannon's body was when the police officer showed up. Let me see if I can grab it really quick. Was it before or after she came? No, it was like right around here, right? Ugh, so chilling. Yeah, I thought initially when police officers came, I thought that his body was in the trunk of the car. I was like, they didn't check the trunk? Saw a suitcase back there. It was suspicious, but yeah, I was wrong about that. I can't find it. Where is it? Is it over here? Oh yeah, they think... So there's like a pile of boxes there that are just kind of thrown together. And by the way, her house is like, for the most part, it seems pretty clean. She said that like she was like a little bit OCD with keeping the house clean and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, to see boxes piled up like this, ugh. The house seems pretty clean, in order. What didn't she do? Well, she was found guilty of murdering her stepson, Gannon Stauch, who was like 11 years old at the time. So this happened about 3.5 years ago. And she came up with a lot of ludicrous lies to try to get out of it. Went to trial recently, found guilty. And when the judge was like, do you have anything to say? Her request was to go to a different prison. She wanted to be like in a more, I guess, comfortable prison. Yeah, it was completely overkill. He had defensive wounds. He had like blunt force trauma to his head. He was trying to fend off being stabbed by a knife. And then ultimately, he had like, I think like 3 gunshot wounds, right? I don't know if he had 3 gunshot wounds or if they found like evidence of like gunshots, like through like, was it through a pillowcase or maybe like through the house or something? I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah. Super overkill. And I think that before he ultimately ended up dying, I think that she badly hurt him. That's why he couldn't go to school. So it's possible he could have been in pain for a very long time, 12, 24 hours. Yeah, super, super Sad. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get up and get some more water really quick. It's really hot in here. Get up, stretch, play some intermission music. Sorry, it's lo-fi. I don't like lo-fi, but I'm playing lo-fi for now. All right, I'll be right back. Yeah, she tried to come up with some story about her having multiple personality disorder. And then she was like, when she was talking to one of the psychiatrists, the psychiatrist was like, wait a second, you're just naming characters from what's it called again? With Bella and the Cullens. You could even be creative. She was like, she was talking about like Edward Cullen and all the other siblings, stuff like that. Oh my god. Twilight, yeah. Twilight, come on. Here, I'm gonna bring this with me though, in case in case a fly pops up. My dog is being there's a fly that's like traumatizing. There's Steve. Hi. All right, I report back. I did not find the fly. Where he is? Elusive. I'm sorry, Cheryl. I don't know where he is. He's somewhere around here. I don't know where he is. Oh, hi, Rain. Hello. It is Junji Ito. They're so expensive, so I only bought one book. I ain't collecting or nothing, but I got one. Like the cover. The girl looks really creepy. Yeah, I wonder if she's gonna be able to get kosher food. I feel like, didn't they give her kosher food, but then they rescinded that because they found out that she was secretly eating non-kosher food on the side. And they're like, bitch, you ain't kosher. Taking this off. All right, guys. Well, that's it for Lietecia Stauch. Okay, we done with her. We done. Unless anything else pops up. Oof, man. I do not like lo-fi music. It makes me sleepy. When I listen to lo-fi music, I used to listen to lo-fi music when I stream, and I used to be like falling asleep over here. All right, guys, stay hydrated. Oh, also, you want to see these cute stickers? Oh, fudge. Look at these cute stickers. My sister's wife made these cute little stickers of my doggos. Oh, you can't really see. Here's one. That's him with his little girthy paws. And then this is Steve with like his favorite bone that he always has. That's like ginormous. I'm just gonna put them on my little. Oh, this is Shiro right here that my brother printed. I like that. Look at this handsome little boy. Yeah, she's trying to start a little like sticker business or something like that. Oh my god, how do I do this? Let's see. Put this one on here. Steve and Shiro. So cute. The little bubbles. This guy's so cute. Steve, he's a heartbreaker. He is. He's so flirtatious. He loves people. He's the type of dog that... This is back when I used to go to dog parks. I don't do dog parks anymore because stranger dogs are danger, okay? But back when I used to go to the dog park, Steve would not play with other dogs. Instead, he would go up to other couples and he'd be like, please take me home with you. Take me with you, please. Yeah. He's always flirting with other people. He's so funny. Okay. You're watching a video about Kohberger. They didn't want to give the defense their evidence from the DNA. Yeah. The state, right? The state did not want to give the whole process of the genetic genealogy stuff because they're like, well, we don't have to. And the reason why we linked Kohberger was because we took the buccal swab and matched the DNA on the knife sheath button. But yeah, I don't know. They're like battling it out right now. I don't know if there's any updates. I think there's supposed to be a hearing today where the judge is going to listen to both sides and make a decision. I think. Let me go on YouTube really quick. Let's see if there's any updates. Kohberger. Let's see. I hear about the DP due in court. Yeah, I don't see anything. Former FBI agent explains DNA evidence in Kohberger's case. Yeah, I don't know. I thought they were supposed to have a hearing today. This did pop up my feed, though. I don't know. I don't know if we really care, but New York Post thing. Idaho murder suspect Kohberger arrested in 2014 record show. That's like, what, 9 years ago? It's a long time ago. The man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in their off-campus house last fall was arrested for theft almost a decade before the grisly stabbing spree. Records show. I'll have to look this up. Brian Kohberger, then 19, was charged with misdemeanor theft in Monroe County, Pennsylvania, for allegedly stealing his sister's iPhone in 2014. How the heck did that go down? Listen, I've had some fights with my siblings before and stuff like that, but like, I don't know, to call the cops on your sibling, that's elevating to a whole different level. Kohberger's father, Michael, alerted police to the alleged theft, court records indicate. Michael Kohberger told police that his son, who was struggling with drug addiction, I think I remember hearing about this, that Kohberger was addicted to drugs at some point. Like, was it like high school or like in his 20s? Warned him not to do anything stupid after making the discovery that he stole the phone. Why would he steal his sister's phone? That's so weird. Kohberger did not serve jail time for the theft. There's no remaining public record. I mean, it has nothing to do with this case, but I don't know. I searched Kohberger earlier and I was like, oh, this is interesting-ish. Kind of, not really. They knew about the heroin in high school. I heard about that. I just didn't remember if it was confirmed or not. Is that Shinjan? It sure is. It's Shinosuke. Yeah, I got Shinosuke and I just got random stuff hanging here. Stole it from the store. It said it was his sister's iPhone. I don't know. That's what New York Post says. I haven't looked that up personally, but let's see. Kohberger. Want to talk about the DP stuff with Kohberger? So Brian Kohberger, who is the main suspect in the Idaho student murders, the state had about, was it like 60 days from, yeah, they had 60 days to decide whether or not they wanted to go for the death penalty. And you know what? They did. I wasn't sure if they were going for it because I thought that, like, I don't know, maybe they're sitting on a lot of like hardcore evidence that we just don't know about, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see, but they're going for the death penalty. And I think the family of the victims support this as well. I remember hearing about like one or two of the families that are like very outspoken. Cubs now, the state of Idaho, by and through the Lietecia County prosecuting attorney, and hereby gives notice to the court, the defendant is counsel, pursuant to Idaho Code, that at the time appointed, as of this point in time, God, that was a little wordy, and based on the information known to the state to date, the following statutory aggravating circumstances pursuant to Code, appears to exist in this case to the crimes of the murder in the first degree as charged in counts 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the indictment herein. 1, Idaho Code. At the time the murder was committed, the defendant was also committing another crime, another murder. 2, Idaho Code. The murder was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity and or 3, by the murder or in circumstances surrounding its commission, the defendant exhibit utter disregard for human life. And I think Idaho may be one of those states who, if they can't get their hands on the lethal injection, because apparently it's really hard to get some of the components of that, it might be death by firing squad. And I know that sounds really archaic, but you know, they can't do the lethal injection. Some states might do the firing squad or like death by hanging. 4, the murder was committed in the perpetration of or attempt to perpetrate arson, robbery, burglary, kidnapping, or mayhem that a defendant killed and intended a killing, acted with reckless indifference to human life, and or 5, defendant by his conduct, whether such conduct was before, during, after the commission of the murder at hand, was exhibited propensity to commit murder, which would probably constitute a continuing threat to society. The state gives this notice based on the fact that it has not identified or been provided with any mitigating circumstances sufficient to prohibit the triers of fact from considering all penalties authorized by the Idaho legislature, including the possibility of a capital sentence. Consequently, considering all evidence currently known to the state is compelled to file this notice of intent to seek the DP. The state will continue to review additional information as it's received and reserves the statutory right to amend or withdraw this notice. Yeah, so I think right now, just for the time being, they're just putting this notice letting them know they're going to go for the death penalty. However, as the case progresses, they can actually rescind that. Firing squad is rolling into town. I watched them pass the bill. It was like one day, then poof, firing squad. You're listening to a podcast about a case that was talking about what makes it DP worthy, and the rules are wild. What's the name of the podcast? Is it on YouTube? Brian Enton tweeted about it. Who is that? Twitter. Twitter. Oh, wait. Hold on. They look familiar. From News Nation. Let's see. UFO. So, okay. Kohberger. Steve says hi. Steve. Stevie. Oh, you can't even see him. He's behind me. Stevie. Brian Enton says, Kohberger hearing just ended. Defense argued state is not turning over the discovery. State says defense has everything the state has, and some reports are not ready yet. Judge taking it all under advisement. We're going to break it down later on at 10 p.m. All right. Thank you for letting me know about that. Gas chamber. I don't think they're doing gas chamber here, are they? Is that a thing here? Nitrogen gas? I don't know. Like you're talking about like what's the other one? Like carbon monoxide or something like that? I don't know. You don't believe in DP because you can't defeat evil with evil. Most humane was lethal injection. Yeah, but you guys hear about the stuff that went down in Alabama? Oh man, there were three inmates that were facing DP, and when their time came, I don't know, man, they were having issues finding the vein, and one of the inmates, I mean, these guys are going out for heinous crimes, but like one of the inmates, they had to do something called a cut down, where if they can't find, they're trying to find your veins, like in your arm, your other arm, like maybe your neck, even like your groin area, maybe your foot area. I don't know. They couldn't get a vein. And so they had to do a cut down where they basically just like slash at your meat and then try to expose the vein out. And like, when they wheeled the guy out, like there was like a whole delay where it took a couple hours. And when they finally wheeled the guy out, the lawyer wasn't with him. The people in the gallery were really confused because they were like, oh, this guy looks like he's out of it. Like, what happened to this guy? I think he was like really heavily sedated. And then like, the warden would do something where they're like, hey, you know, do you have any last words before you're gone? And the guy was like he was like, it looked like he didn't even understand what was happening, and he like didn't say anything. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I hear like there's some crazy stuff going on right now, and like there are some states that can't get the actual like the concoction for the lethal injection. So sometimes they're like going through sketchy routes to obtain it. Like I don't know, man. I just been reading some interesting, crazy articles about that. Yeah. I don't know. You know, in Japan, they just hang you. You just get hung. It's like nitrogen narcosis happens into deep sea. Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah, the narcosis thing, where you kind of like lose your like you don't know your directions, you don't know up from down, left and right, and you get really confused and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I know some people are just like, oh, why don't they just use like the ones that they like for putting animals down or something? But I remember reading about that. And there was a reason why they don't use it on humans. But I heard about the electric chair. There's this one guy that was being was it electric chair? I think so. Yeah, like where I don't know if the power wasn't high enough, but it was taking a long time for him to die. And at some point, it smelled so bad of burnt flesh that the people sitting there were like starting to lose their stomachs. I don't know. But I don't know. I haven't really done too much research about it. I just read some articles here and there about how crazy it can get at times. Back to the Kohberger stuff, though. Let's see, Mr. Kohberger. I wanted to read a couple things with you guys. The court documents. Basically, they're just last week, I think it was last week, right? And I put the video out already on YouTube. Sorry, guys, I was so late about it. I got lazy. But last week, the state was arguing that, you know, they did the genetic genealogy. Basically, we didn't really have the thorough steps of what they did, but from what we know from the documents, they had found a DNA on the knife sheath that was left under one of the victims' bodies. And so there was like a DNA on there, and they were able to find it. And then I think they submitted the DNA to like one of those, like, I don't know, like the 23andMe ancestor, like not to that exact website, but something similar to it. And from that, they were able to find like a group of people, build out the family tree and stuff like that. Later on, they went to Pennsylvania, and they were able to go to the trash. There was Kohberger's father's DNA that was on there, and they were able to connect it to the DNA that they had. It showed that it was like a paternal DNA. And then when they finally arrested Kohberger, they did like a cheek swab, and they were able to be like, oh, hey, this is the same exact DNA as the one found on the knife sheath. Now, they don't want to... I was a little bit confused initially because I was like, I don't know why they wouldn't just want to give the defense everything. Like, okay, like basically this is the work that I did, and here's how I did it. Like, they didn't want to give the work of like how they did it, right? They're like, oh, you know, you don't need it. And I guess I kind of get it. Like, if there are things you don't need to turn over, then don't turn it over. But some of the I don't want to say excuses, but some of the reasons they listed was like, oh, you know, we don't want we don't want, to have Kohberger's family members. Like there was like 100 searches that popped up. We don't want to have their information out there. We don't want Kohberger to have information for his own relatives, which I thought was like kind of weird. But I started reading the defense's argument where they're like, hey, like, we want to know like the chain of custody, like who had this DNA, like where it went and stuff like that, who had possession of it, how it was handled. We want to know what other hits you got because, what if, we can exclude Kohberger from this and maybe it was one of Kohberger's relatives or something. I don't know. But I think that's what they were kind of going for. Like, oh, maybe it was a relative who did this. I don't know. But it got pretty interesting. So I do want to sit here and I do want to read it with you guys. It's not super long. So it's one of those things where it's like, have you playing in the background. You can go cleaning, maybe water your plants or something, do some gardening. And let me just pull it up really quick. And then also we have an update on Alexi Treviso. I looked her up recently and it seems like we have a trial date set for her in a couple of months, possibly. Sorry, I should have had these documents here. I did have the documents up, but I restarted my computer because it was acting up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last week we went over for the state's motion for the protective order. Okay, so now this is the defense's argument. I think it's a pretty interesting read. Give me a second here. Might need to put my glasses on. Sorry, I was playing a game earlier. Let's see. What's the order that we want to do this in? The declaration. Okay, so this is Ann Taylor. Ann Taylor is Kohberger's public defender. This is her demanding the state to turn over some stuff because she's like, you know what? In order for me to properly defend Kohberger, I need you to turn in some stuff. Okay, we need these documents. Okay, this is the same thing. This is something else, and this is the long one, and this is the okay. Cool. All right, I got a couple of court docs for you guys to read. You can listen to me in the background. Right. Male DNA recovered at the crime scene that matched DNA for inside Brian's mouth. What? Nightwolf, I don't even know what to make out of that comment. Why are we talking about PDF ghosts and stuff? Oh, God. I mean, honestly, for me, I don't know. I understand. Like, sometimes you get really emotional about things and you're just like, you know what? DP all the way. But honestly, for me, if they rot in jail for the rest of their lives, I'm okay with that. So for me, it's like, I don't really care if they get DP or not. They rot. Good for me. It would be nice though. We can like kind of like get inside their heads and know what they want and don't want. Because there are some people who like, they don't want a DP, So it's like, give the DP to the ones that don't want DP. But yeah, anyways. Quintillion. Yeah, it was like 5.34 quintillion or something, right? But they get a hold of this specialist who makes a pretty interesting argument. And this specialist ends up adding like a little supplementary that like had a book that mentions her name in it. It's like, oh, she's like name dropping herself. But yeah, I don't know. That was I thought the book thing was kind of interesting where it dives into this whole thing about how a DNA database can be very dangerous sometimes because you think the odds of having something match is really, really high, but then they were able to find that people were matching. I like there are people that were like matching, like it depends on how thorough they do the whole matching thing. I forgot what the term was, where it was like, we'll get into the document, but they were starting to find like things that were supposed to be a really high like chance of being really low rates of like the chance of it matching was supposed to be really, really, really low, but they were able to find people that were matching on a higher rate in the database. Sorry, that's a horrible way of explaining it, but when we read this, it'll be a little bit better. Okay. I want to get new glasses because even though these are lightweight, I want to go even more lightweight. I don't know. I want to wear glasses where I don't feel anything on my face, but I don't want to wear contacts either because contacts are gross. Ugh, dry. Eyes too dry. Let them rot in prison. Yeah, let them rot in prison, and let's hope they have kidney stones and UTIs forever. Okay. Let's read this. Anne C. Taylor. Oh, did I zoom in too much? Okay. I, Anne C. Taylor, do state and declare, 1, counsel for Mr. Kohberger filed for a specific request for discovery related to DNA in the case titled Defendant's Third Supplemental Request for Discovery. 2, the state filed a specific response to that request. After reviewing the materials provided, the following remains to be discovered. A, request 3 profiles uploaded to a DNA database. The state has only provided information related to this request for the seized item, the knife sheath only. Again, they have the knife sheath in custody, but we don't actually have the actual murder weapon. The K-bar knife, we don't know where that is. Yeah, we don't know. The defense has requested all DNA profiles, including 3 additional unidentified male DNA profiles developed during the course of law enforcement investigation. This information has not been supplied. So defense is like, give us all the DNA hits, okay? We don't care if you guys ruled it out. Give it to us because we want to do our own investigation. Because what if there's other DNA profiles that you guys can thoroughly investigate, and then we can investigate, and maybe they could be potential suspects as well, right? So that makes sense. I can see that. But the DNA could have just been ruled out because maybe it was just like, I don't know, maybe one of the male DNA profiles came from like, I don't know, one of the victim's friends or, I don't know, siblings, family member, or something like that. B, request 6, communications. The state has not provided all emails, text messages, electronic messages, and or other messages or in conversations regarding biological testing in this investigation. C, request 9 and 10, unexpected results and corrective actions. This request has been partially complied with. However, the response lacks the full scope of the request. 6 months before and 6 months after testing related to the investigation, further information relating to all lab personnel has not been provided. So they want to know who's been handling this. 3, part of the third supplemental discovery request was for materials related to genetic genealogy testing. A, the state has objected to this request in its entirety and has filed a motion for a protective order. Counsel for Mr. Kohberger requests this court consider the contemporaneous objection to the state's motion and declaration in support of the motion to compel. The requested discovery is properly sought pursuant to Idaho Criminal Rule 16. This discovery is necessary in the preparation of Mr. Kohberger's defense. Counsel for Mr. Kohberger has reviewed the materials provided in the case regarding the DNA testing, laboratory results, bench notes, and photographs. Further, experts in the field of genetic genealogy and DNA have consulted and offered information and guidance. So they had to hire 2 experts about this whole genetic genealogy thing and get their opinions on whether or not, Ann Taylor, Kohberger's defense team, is going to need this. The state acknowledges it used genetic genealogy testing in this case, but it claims it does not have to produce the records in the specific request for the discovery. The defense disagrees. So again, the state is like, at the end of the day, your client's DNA matched the DNA on the knife sheath. We don't need to give you all the information and how we build out the family tree and blah, blah, blah. Basically all like the work, most of the work that behind it. 2, counsel has learned through a consultation with experts and sources referenced below that the use of genetic genealogy databases does not necessarily lead to a single individual as a potential suspect. So they want to know, how the heck did you get Kohberger from all of this? And that reports of the searches often reference multiple individuals for further investigation and DNA testing. In fact, the state acknowledges such as a motion for protective order would acknowledge hundreds of relatives. Again, so they want to know who were these hundreds of relatives that you guys had during the initial hit, right? When you guys did the DNA search. The testing conducted by a private lab is completely different in nature than a testing done by forensics lab. So the way they do the DNA stuff. So when you're like going on like 23andMe or like the ancestry.com, whatever, right? They do a different way of processing the DNA. It's called like S&P or something, where it takes like a portion, I don't know, it takes the DNA, whatever. And from that result, it lists a bunch of people who are your potential relatives. And then from that, you go through like records and stuff like that, birth certificates, and you try to build out a family tree. However, when you're doing the DNA stuff, like in the forensic lab, when you're like getting a DNA and you're trying to process it, that process is called, what was it called again? It was called something about short tandem repeats, STR. Oh yeah, STR DNA. They process it differently. And with that, it's like, you don't get like a bunch of like possible relatives that could be related to. You just get like, one person when you search in the database, like what the DNA matches to. I think that's how it works. Like, I don't know. I was reading about this and I was like, man, I took genetics in freaking college, but all this is just a huge, like, oh my God, this is so much information. Yeah, STR, short tandem repeats. So there's different ways of how they process the DNA stuff and the testing. And they're saying that like, hey, you guys didn't do the forensics way. You guys did it the other way, where it's like you take, you hit up 23andMe and Ancestry.com and they do the family tree thing. The tests used by the private labs are either S&P, single nucleotide polymorphism, I'm last time reading that, or whole genome sequencing. These tests are similar to the methods used by the commercial services such as 23andMe and Ancestry.com. 3, based upon the information from experts in the field, I've learned that once a genetic genealogy profile is created and the testing is done by the private lab is completed, the profile is uploaded to the database and contains similar data from other individuals. Once the genetic genealogy profile is uploaded, the profile is compared within that database and relatives are identified. So that seems to be how they initially were able to process that DNA that was on the knife sheath. It is my understanding that once possible relatives have been identified, their identities are used to construct a family tree to identify possible suspects using personal public records, using, for some instances, contacting individuals for further family information. The process leads to a pool of individuals rather than one specific individual. So again, like if you're doing the forensic way, right, where you're processing DNA, that usually leads to like one individual that it hasn't matched to. The possibility of other relatives who might be similar to Mr. Kohberger is extremely important to the defense in this case. The processes used in this method of identification may be extremely important to Mr. Kohberger's defense. Well, actually, sorry, in the forensic one, they might list like other people that show up where it's like, what are the chances of this DNA being theirs? Like, you know how they do like the 1 in 3 quintillion or whatever like that? The possibility of other relatives who might be similar to Mr. Kohberger is extremely important for the defense in this case. So again, this could be Kohberger defense saying that like, hey, it could be one family member who just happened to be related to Kohberger, The process used in this method of identification may be extremely important to Kohberger's defense. The timing and steps utilized are extremely important to Mr. Kohberger's case investigation and defense. I reviewed a copy of the Idaho State Police announcement dated blah, 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 where it talks about the genetic genealogy. We're going to skip through that. I am aware of specific news reports in this case regarding Mr. Kohberger's DNA as published by the New York Times on June 11, 2023. Actually, I have not read that article. My New York Times subscription ran... Do you guys know New York Times subscription? When you pay initially, I think it's like you get the discounted rate of like $4.99, and then after 1 year, they butcher it up to like $14.99. $14.99 a month for New York Times? What? That's so expensive. But I was okay with $4.99, and then I was looking at my credit card statement. I was like, wait a second, what is this New York Times $14.99 thing? Okay, anyways, that FBI personnel worked with the profile, and that author had produced. Sorry, this is a quote. ... spending days building out a family tree that began with distant relatives. The New York Times source has more information than the state has disclosed to defense. The New York Times article generated intense media coverage and interest, the scope of which is explained in the True Scope report attached as an Exhibit D. So the state was like, we didn't even know about this, but how come the New York Times knows about this? They got more information than we do. In addition, Mr. Kohberger's defense team has discussed the use of statistics in this type of case with experts who have informed me that the manner of identifying Mr. Kohberger via this type of search may have significant impacts on the statistical analysis of the CODIS profile generated by the Idaho State Police Lab without access to the genetic genealogy search method. So they want to know who else popped up in their search. Who are the other people or family members? Without access to the actual genetic genealogy search methods and results, it is impossible for qualified experts to address these issues. So when they hire their experts, they're like, hey, when our experts look at this, like if we don't have all the information, they're not going to be able to actually look at this with a full scope. Counsel for Mr. Kohberger notes that the state utilized a statistical analysis number to claim a high likelihood of match between the DNA in the sheath and that of Mr. Kohberger. The state, by his own admission, has taken a number of steps to identify Mr. Kohberger as a match. The statistical probability is not an absolute number. The size of comparison sample and the nature of the search are important to ascertain conclusion bias. Mr. Kohberger has a right to effective counsel. He has a right to confront evidence. Counsel must undertake a thorough investigation of all parts of this case the state brings against Mr. Kohberger. As such, the genetic genealogy investigation and process is necessary for the defense team to do their job. Ann Taylor, she's like, give me all the stuff. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I get why they're fighting back and forth about this, but I feel like in the grand scheme of things, I'm like, I don't know. When you're going to trial and you're facing something like this and possibly the death penalty, you gotta fight even the small little battles and stuff, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's pretty fucked, but we'll see. You know, maybe they're trying to see if his DNA was planted there, or like, I don't know. Maybe it really was. Maybe Kohberger has a secret twin brother out there. I don't know. Maybe it was a family member. But all right, next one. Comes now, Brian C. Kohberger, by and through his attorney, Ann C. Taylor, public defender. Okay, so this is what they want. Standard lab discovery. Profiles uploaded to the DNA database. In the event that the case involves an upload of a DNA profile to either local, state, or national database, please provide all documentation maintained by the testing laboratory personnel within, including profiles that have been identified as unknown males. So they want other profiles that popped up. They want to know who worked in the laboratory, who handled it, and all the documentations, probably communications, right? Six, communications. Please provide a copy of all communications with the laboratory personnel and any other party. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's been cases where laboratory personnel may have effed up and maybe it led to a defendant to be released. I mean, I don't know. I think that's what they're just trying to see. They just want to make sure this is done thoroughly, just in case they can poke any holes through it, I guess. So they want all the information, the personnel. They want unexpected results and corrective actions. For each laboratory that performed DNA testing in this case, please provide copies of the laboratory's logs of unexpected results and corrective actions. The log should be provided for a time period beginning 6 months before the start of testing and ending 6 months after the completion of testing. They want the genetic genealogy testing and search. All reports generated by any lab that conducted the S&P testing on any sample in this case, including the samples were unknown males, not to the defendant, were identified. Copies of all communications with the laboratory personnel, documentations with the family tree. All documents related to the genetic genealogy search. Documents related to the genetic genealogy investigation. DNA samples collected. The name and address of all persons found to have a sufficient sharing centimorgams. What the heck is this word? Centimorgams, with the subject profile to be identified as a match in the report created in this case. So I guess they want to know who else could have been a potential match. And then maybe, you know, they could be like, hey, you know, in trial, hey, by the way, when they did the search for the Kohberger's DNA, you know, they actually ended up finding matches for other people that could have been the DNA on this knife sheath. Maybe they did it. I don't know. I think that's something that they can try to pull in trial. All right. So this is one of the experts that they hired, and she's kind of an interesting expert. I believe she went to law school, and then she also studied like genetics. Bika Barlow. Yeah, Bika Barlow got a BS from University of California in genetics. Was his master's of science from Cornell, genetics with minors in cellular biology, but then got their JD from University of San Francisco. So they got a background in law and genetics. Now, this is all their credential stuff. Now, this is what they wrote. Oh, sorry, buddy. I'm familiar with the methods used to conduct IgG searches in criminal cases. I have been retained in other jurisdiction on cases involving this type of search and have received and reviewed reports generated by the private company that conducted both the testing itself and the construction of the family tree that leads to the identification of the defendant in those matters. I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm just going to read the ones that are important, then I'll skim through the other stuff. Based on my review of the material, I'm informed and believe that the use of these databases does not necessarily lead to a single individual as a potential suspect. The testing conducted by the private lab is different in nature from the testing done in forensics lab. The private lab does not generate a profile in the same way that a forensic labs do. There cannot be a direct comparison between the data obtained in this case by the Idaho State Police Crime Lab and the private lab. The ISP lab has conducted what is typically called STR, short tandem repeat based testing, which results in a profile that can be uploaded to the state and federal CODIS databases. IgG labs use a different technology where individual SNPs, again, these are the two different methods, there's a STR and then SNP, are sequenced. The SNP and STR data cannot be directly compared. Once the IgG lab completes its testing, the SNP data is uploaded to the genetic genealogy database that contains similar data from other individuals. One such database is GED Match. So remember how we thought that we were like, wait a second, 23andMe and then myancestor.com, they just let law enforcement have access to your family tree stuff? Like what? But no, they actually don't. It's clarified here. So one such database is GED Match. GED Match has been acquired, blah, 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 blah. I'm only aware of one other website that allows law enforcement searches. Most websites, such as 23andMe, do not allow the use of their data by law enforcement and are used by most people for ancestry research. So no, they don't allow it. Because we're like, damn, they just allow like law enforcement to use it? Okay. Data is compared within the database and possible relatives are identified. You paid $20? What did you pay the $20 for? The determination of who is or is not a relative is subjective and based on the length of DNA shared between the two individuals. The comparisons in such database do not yield an identification of someone identical in the uploaded S&P data. Rather, it would identify possible relatives who might be in the database. So they want to get their hands on them. They want to know who are the other relatives that it popped up for. Once a putative relative has been identified, a family tree is created, working backwards to grandparents, possible great-great-grandparents. The family tree is then built down. The construction of these family trees is highly subjective and based on the use of public records such as marriage, birth certificates. Difficulty with tracing a family tree may arise when there are events that sever a relationship, such as out of wedlock birth, name change, or adoption. In some instances, contacting individuals for further family information, such as noted above. This process leads to a pool of individuals rather to one specific individual. I'm going to skip through this. Okay, so this is where I thought it was kind of interesting. In addition, there has been a history of misuse of these IgG databases by law enforcement. Abuses by law enforcement of the GED match resulted in users opting out of the use of their DNA data by law enforcement. The abuses and protests by users led GED match to change their database so that users had to opt in for law enforcement use. Another database that allows law enforcement searches is Family Tree DNA. So if you guys don't want law enforcement to have access to it, I don't know, GD match, Family Tree DNA. But you can opt out of it, or you can opt in if you want. Automatically opts users into law enforcement searches. Never mind, Family Tree DNA, you gotta opt out of it. An example of this abuse of this technology: a Florida police officer obtained a warrant for the entire GD match database despite users' choice to opt out of law enforcement searches. Oh, wait, no, this is not what I thought was interesting. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Okay, I'm going to skip through that. It is imperative to the defense in this case to know how Mr. Kohberger was identified and who else in the family tree might have been identified as a subject of investigation. While in the Dodge case, another relative was ruled out, it is unknown to the defense in this case whether every lead or possible suspect was further investigated and ruled out by genetic testing. Because a family tree generated by those genealogy searches often identify distant relatives through great or great-great-grandparents, a person may be completely unaware of the relatives in the genetic genealogy searches, unable to conduct an independent investigation of third-party suspects. It is So here it is. They're basically saying like, hey, there could be a family member that Kohberger doesn't know about. And this could be a person that we might need to investigate. It is not possible for any defendant to investigate family relatives who are unknown to him and may in fact have been in the area of the crime. This material clearly is Brady material in that it would provide investigative leads that are otherwise unavailable to Mr. Kohberger. IGG case and similarities to CODIS. Let me see if I need to read this. I don't think so. This is them right here. They're grilling the state. They're saying that like the state misread a case that they cited. Let's skip over this part. I have spoken with a number of experts in the field who have expressed the opinion that an IgG search can impact the statistical rarity of a profile in manner similar to a cold hit search, meaning the statistic that is generated by the analysis of IgG search could yield a relevant and admissible statistic. That paragraph was pretty hard to understand, but I had to read the book that they cited in order to understand what the heck they meant by that. Because I was like, what do you mean? It impacts the number, huh? In the case of a cold hit case, even a high RMP can yield a low DMP statistics. For inside an RMP of 1 in 1 million can yield a DMP of 1 in 3, which I was like, what? I'm still a bit lost about that part, but let me see if I can find, I think it's at the bottom, right? Okay, hold on. We'll get there in a second. Give me a second. Without access to the results of the search, including how the first putative relative was identified, how many profiles were in the database search, which databases were searched, and how the family tree was constructed along with the family tree itself, Mr. Kohberger has no means to address possible significant issues with the government evidence. Item 4.2. From the discovery in this case, it appears at least 3 or possibly 4 profiles were uploaded to the CODIS database prior to Mr. Kohberger being charged. So they want to know who were the other suspects that the police had. Their other profiles are uploaded. Like they wanted to get access to that and why they were ruled out, I guess. Mr. Kohberger has requested to discover these uploads and any resulting hits or candidate matches to these unknown male profile, even if the lab has predispositioned them as non-candidate matches. When a profile is uploaded to the CODIS database, it is searched continuously against the database of convicted offenders and arrestees maintained by the state, generally on a weekly basis. This ensures that as new individuals are added to the database, they will hit on evidence samples profiles if they are deemed a match. So that's kind of interesting. These candidates are then forwarded directly to the lab, then uploaded to the evidence profile for further evaluation. Hello, how are you doing today? Hi, Tyrone, how's it going? We're talking about Kohberger's cousin Hamburger. We're talking about Kohberger right now and the fact that the state and defense are fighting about this whole genetic genealogy thing. And then also the state had decided to pursue death penalty, which wasn't a surprise because they could put the death penalty request in for now, and then later on they can rescind that. Kid Criminals, episode 1. What is that, on Netflix or something? Hi, Dave. How are you doing today? Hello. Hello, Madame August Butterfly. Hello, welcome back. I remember your name. These candidates are then forwarded directly to the lab, then uploaded to the evidence profile for further evaluation. The lab will then determine the individual candidate is a candidate match or a non-match. The lab then dispositions the individual in the database as the candidate match or a non-match. Wait, what? Okay. All the lab sees the candidate is an anonymized DNA profile. The disposition of the candidate match triggers the state to then provide identity of that individual to the lab for further investigation. Oh, this is kind of interesting, actually. In the last 10 years of my practice, I've encountered a number of cases in which a database search has resulted in more than one candidate and in which, upon court order, the anonymous profile of the other non-matching profiles have been provided to the defense under court order. The number of non-matching profiles varies from case to case, including one case in Santa Clara County, People versus George Shirakawa, and in one, San Francisco, People versus Hernandez. The Hernandez case is illustrative of the subjective matter of this interpretation. In Hernandez, the lab uploaded multiple interpretations of a mixed sample to the state database. One interpretation returned 5 candidates. The second returned 28 candidates that included the defendant. In Hernandez, the lab opined that 2 of the candidates could not be excluded as a source, while the defense expert reached a different opinion that 15 of the candidates could not be excluded. The lab in the Hernandez case provided to the defendant the profiles of the 5 and 28 individuals from the CODIS search. This information was presented at trial in order to impeach the interpretation of the work done by the lab and undermine the idea that a match by the lab is an actual identification of a single individual. The fact of this match made by the CODA system is considered Brady material because it provides possible avenues of investigation of other suspects. I wonder, because Kohberger's team kept saying that like there was something that would like clear him. I don't know. Are they going to say that like, oh, it wasn't Kohberger that did it because it was probably a family member or something? Like, is that what they're going to go for? Given the subjective nature of the mixture interpretation, it's reasonable to believe that other experts might disagree with whom actually is a candidate. Yeah, and that's why the battle of the experts is going to be really important during a trial because, you know, whoever goes up there, the freaking expert, you have to have someone that's going to be able to really resonate with the jury and really be convincing that they're the ones that are smarter than the other expert, and you should believe them. In this case, in which the profile at issue is ambiguous and partial, other suspects are important area investigation. Laboratories are required to maintain logs. So I think in the state's order for protective motion, they're like, hey, like, we don't have access to this information anymore. Once it's been uploaded and whatever, it just gets deleted. So we don't have access to there was some information that they were talking about. Was it the family tree one? They're like, yeah, it's gone. I don't know. We don't know where it is. So this is Bika Barlow. Now, she or he, Bika, I'm not sure. Bika sounds kind of like a feminine name. I'm not sure. But I don't know. They attach like parts of the books, which I thought was kind of interesting. I just want to read a little bit of it. But I'm not a DNA expert or anything, so I don't know if the book could still be bullshit, right? In 2001, states had just begun to make major inroads in collecting DNA from known offenders and storing the profiles in the DNA databases. So the reason why I'm reading this right now is because I think it's really important because it's basically the basis of their argument in this whole court document stuff. Catherine Troyer worked as an analyst in the DNA unit of the Arizona State Crime Laboratory. At work one day, she received notice of something interesting. Two seemingly unrelated individuals, one white, one black, shared the same 2 markers at 9 of the 13 places in the standard DNA profile. Indeed, they also shared 1 marker at the remaining 4 places. Of 26 possible genetic differences, they had 22 in common. Yet that 9 locus genetic profile, so I think that'll be kind of important too, is that when they're comparing the DNA, how many locus, I guess, did they compare? Because the more locus you include, I guess, the more rare it becomes. Yet that 9 locus genetic profile should have been exceedingly rare according to the standard means of computing the random match probability. If you plucked a non-Hispanic white person at random from the population, there would only be about 1 in 754 million chance of finding that profile. For African Americans, the number would be 1 in 561 billion. For Southwest Hispanics, 1 in 113 trillion. And yet here in the database of just 65,493 people, it was appearing twice. And again, the probability is supposed to be like super, 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 super high. Or sorry, super, super low. And in people of different races. Importantly, at the time, one of the most popular testing kits for the forensic DNA analysis came in 2 parts, a 9-locus kit and a 6-locus kit. Because the kits were expensive, conducting DNA analysis took a lot of lab time. Many analysts did not bother typing a full 13-locus profile in every case. Instead, they routinely did only half the tests, reporting 9 locus matches that quickly turned into defendant's conviction. Analysis also routinely wrote in their reports and testified under oath that 9 and 10 locus matches were highly unusual and rarely seen. But they're like saying, hey, this database that has 65,000 people, it appeared twice. So that shouldn't be happening if the statistics for it is so, crazy low. And this is the expert right here, Bika Barlow. They're in this book right there. Okay, I just want to read this really quick and then we'll be done. In 1972, nurse Diana Sylvester was found naked near her Christmas tree. She had been essayed and fatally stabbed. Police had collected forensic evidence, but DNA typing was still decades away. The case sat open until over 30 years later. Investigators dusted off a badly degraded DNA sample and tested them, running the results through the database. A partial match linked then 70-year-old wheelchair-bound John Puckett to the only testable evidence in the case, sperm, found on the body that showed reliable results at just 5.5 loci, and possible results at another 1.5 places. On the basis of this match, the prosecutors charged Puckett with murder. Barlow promptly contacted Troyer for more information, but Todd Griffith, the head of the lab, intervened and denied her request. Shut out, Barlow sought a subpoena from Arizona court to compel the lab to disclose its finding. Barlow called Troyer to testify at a hearing to decide whether to grant the request. Troyer testified that she had found not just one matching 9 locust pair, but 90 such paired matches. When the lab offered no explanation why a 1 in a trillion events were happening regularly in the Arizona database, the judge granted the subpoena. Again, it's supposed to be 1 in a trillion event, but then 90 people, there was 90 matches, which is pretty crazy. I don't know. I thought this book was kind of interesting. The order also included directive to the lab to conduct a full search of the known offender database and report back all matching pairs. Of course, I'm not saying this might be the case for Kohberger, but because we don't know how they did the testing, but I think it's kind of interesting. So I can see why the expert and the defense is arguing like, hey, we want to know what you guys got in the search results, and we want to know how you guys did this. Because I don't know, maybe it might be one of those special cases where it's like this book right here. Ultimately, the report showed that there was actually quite a large number of these pairwise matches. The Arizona database only had 65,000 people in it, each identified with the 2 markers at 13 places that constituted his or her supposed DNA profile. Yet 122 sets of people shared the same genetic markers at 9 places of the 13. 20 pairs matched at 10 places, and 1 pair matched at 11 places, and 1 pair matched at 12 places. 12 places. Only the 11 and 12 locust matches were confirmed siblings. It is akin to assuming that you have a fairly unique identifier, such as 26 digits that represent birthday, bank account, and social security numbers all combined together, only to learn that a significant number of people share most of those numbers and in the same order as you. As news of this unexpected pairings swept the nation, lawyers in other cities pressed for similar searches. After all, if there were 122 pairwise 9 locust matches in a roughly 65,000 person sized database, how many such matches might be found in 11 million personal national database? A back of the envelope calculation suggested that a figure could be as high as 20,000. But rather than embrace the inquiry, the FBI effectively instituted a crackdown. Officials called Troyer's results misleading and meaningless. So I do want to know about this, because maybe this book is wrong. But I do want to know what was their argument. Like the officials, like what did they say? Why did they say that the results were misleading and meaningless? The FBI also uses power guarding the national database to bully states to refusing to conduct similar studies in their own database. FBI leaders reprimanded the Arizona lab, claiming that disclosing the results violated its agreement with the FBI. So they're basically saying like, oh, FBI bully, we can't research this more. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting. So I guess depending on how thorough you want to be with this whole like locust DNA profile thing, when you have an expert that goes up there, it's like, oh, it's a 1 in 5 quintillion likelihood that it's, that it is Kohberger. Well, they're saying that like, I don't know. It depends on how thorough they did their matches. Maybe the statistic that they're presenting, maybe it's not correct. Maybe there were other people that had similar matches, but that's not being shown. So I don't know. I thought this was kind of interesting, but I thought it was interesting. If you guys want to read the rest of it, it's all on here. There's she keeps going. it's a couple pages, but yeah, there's that. Oh my god, it's so hot in here, buddy. I can't wait to get home from work. Hi, Gigi. How are you doing today? How's it going? I actually went to college at school. Oh, at this school for your bachelor's degrees. Still weird to have it seen prominently in the news. Which school was it? They're trying to reach. They have no other arguments, so they're complete BS now. I get what they're trying to argue, but at the same time, I think the jury, I don't know. I think it's going to be hard for the jury to like really get into the meat of the Bika Barlow's argument. I think when the jury hears, oh, Kohberger's DNA, the cheek swab matches the DNA knife sheath. Okay, guilty. You know what I mean? For them to be like, oh, you know, maybe it's not Kohberger because maybe other people popped in the profile and, you know, the state is misrepresenting the statistic numbers. Well, I don't know. I think that's going to be a little bit too complicated for the jury to understand. I think it's just easier to be like, hey, DNA matches. Okay, there you go. That's probably him. Hi, Morton. How are you doing today? How's it going? All right, last one. This is just another expert. I don't think I'm going to read the whole thing, but they hired another expert, Stephen B. Mercer. And Stephen, I think I'm probably just going to skim through his. Stephen Mercer. This is his resume, stuff that he's worked on. He's actually from the East Coast, which I thought was really interesting. All the way from Maryland. And again, he's arguing what Ann Taylor had. He's probably making the arguments, and then Ann Taylor just put everything all together. So saying that, like, an expert, at minimum, an attorney should request expert services where there's reasonable probability. 1, an expert will be a material assist to the defense. 2, the denial of an expert assistance will result in a fundamentally unfair trial. Assistance includes preparing defense counsel to effectively investigate a case, blah, blah, blah. So basically, why they're hiring him. Okay, here we go. 6, it is a minimum practice standard for defense counsel's investigation to obtain discovery DNA testing of evidence regarding the prosecuting authority's decision to offer the DNA testing results as evidence at a hearing or trial. So again, remember, the state was arguing that, like, hey, like, I'm not going to present this to the jury. So it's not going to show up in trial. They don't need this, the defense, they don't need access to this. Don't worry. We're not going to bring this up during trial. This won't be like a surprise thing or not. But the defense is saying it doesn't matter if you're going to have this evidence at the hearing or trial or not. They still are entitled to it. So that's what they're arguing right now. The minimum practice standard for investigating DNA evidence is rooted in the ABA standards for criminal justice, defense function, citation, more citation, Number 7, the minimum practice standards for a competent defense counsel to obtain and review discovery applies to forensic genetic genealogy, DNA analysis, and search, and investigative genetic genealogy, FGG, IgG. Involves testing biological identification evidence from the crime scene or a targeted person, develop a genomic DNA profile, and searching the results in a private ancestry database. The laboratory ranks their search results by centimorgan. Oh, is that what centimorgan is? Oh. A centimorgan is a unique genetic measurement that describes how much DNA and the length of specific segments of DNA are shared between the GED DNA and in the database and the GED DNA from the crime scene evidence or a targeted person of interest. FGG, IgG also involves a genetic genealogy investigation by law enforcement based on the rank matches found in the database, searches to clarify the family tree of interest, and potentially identify the branch populated by the source of crime scene DNA evidence. I don't know. When the state presents their case, they talk about the knife sheath, how the DNA was left behind, and then they talk about the cell phone towers with Kohberger's phone and all that stuff. It's gonna be tough, man. I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. I feel like them fighting back and forth about this, like it's still something, but they have a huge uphill battle with this. Number 8, the scope of discovery provided by the prosecution in the FGG, IgG cases I have worked on included kinship assessment from the searches of genealogy databases and law enforcement's genealogical investigative findings to clarify a family tree and further targets person of interest. Discovery include information about law enforcement's genealogical investigation of the top ranked matches and the persons of interest targeted for DNA sampling for further investigation. Discovery also included sample description information, chain of custody information, amplification, fragmentation, and precipitation details, hybridization information, and DNA input levels and consumption of sample details. The prosecuting authorities provided discovery upon my request. In general, the FGG IgG discovery is essential to the defense because, among other reasons, the discovery includes the results of a DNA testing of a crime scene evidence. B, provides match information from database searches and potential suspect information from law enforcement genealogical investigation. C, may identify the branch or branch of the family of the tree of interest that are consistent with the amount of DNA shared between the source of the crime scene DNA and known persons in the database. D, identifies the public and private DNA databases searched by law enforcement and the ranking of results. E, reveals the number of third parties who law enforcement may have targeted for covert, consensual, or warrant-based DNA collection. So I guess the other thing too is that maybe one of Kohberger's family members may have helped the police build out the family tree, but maybe they're trying to say, like, hey, maybe the way they were able to obtain this information, maybe they did it illegally. What if they tricked one of Kohberger's relatives into giving their DNA, and had that family member not done that, then they wouldn't be able to discover Kohberger and, I don't know, maybe like lead to the information to Kohberger. So I guess I get, I get why the defense really wants all this information, because they don't know what kind of, what kind of things law enforcement or the lab people may have done. May identify the number putative. What the fuck is putative mean? Putative. Generally considered or reputed to be putative.
Putative.
Sorry, guys. I don't know. Today it's hard to read these documents. I think I'm just really tired. I'm tripping up with all these words. Putative. From every putative perpetrator. Oh, thanks for the heart. I don't know. I just saw hearts pop up on the chat. Thanks. Therefore, under minimum standards of practice for defense counsel investigative forensic DNA evidence, it is crucial for a reasonably competent attorney to obtain the FGG IgG discovery. 10. I reserve the opportunity to update my opinions based on new information. Okay, so I mean, I really do get why the defense wants all this information, because they don't know that, what if what led the police to Kohberger was done in a way that was, maybe illegal or something, right? Or what if, someone in the laboratory, maybe they fucked up and it could make this whole thing into a whole mess. Or maybe, perhaps, maybe, there's other suspects that they dismiss and the defense can look into, and they could be possible people that were involved in the murder. So, I mean, I get why they really want this information, but I'm also just kind of like, I don't know. I thought this would be information that they just get automatically. I didn't know this was like a huge like battle, a legal battle over it. I thought they just get it. I thought it was gonna be part of discovery, but I get why the state doesn't want to turn it over too. Because like if they don't have to turn it over, and they're like, I don't have to turn this information over. I don't want to turn it over. So we'll see what the judge says. They had a hearing about it today, and it seems like the judge is gonna decide later on. That would have really sucked. The evidence that proved it was him got thrown out because the legal means of narrowing it down. I mean, they should have other evidence as well. Let's say this whole DNA thing gets thrown out. I mean, I guess it'd be really hard because even though they have like the cell phone tower, what else was in the arrest affidavit? The cell phone stuff was pretty strong. I know there was like, no. Yeah, it was just like the cell phone one. I don't think they were able to find any of the victims' DNA so far at Kohberger's car properties. Yeah, it was just basically the cell phone and his car being within the area. That's how they disclose publicly. Yeah. So we'll see. Okay. Oh man, I need some air. All right, so we covered Lietecia earlier. Hello. Oh God, are we ready for this one? Okay, so this one's gonna get pretty deep. I'm gonna use the restroom really quick, but we're gonna get into a pretty deep subject, and then God. Okay, well, I'll be right back. Guys, get up, stretch, use the bathroom, drink some water, get a refill, and I'll be back in like 2 minutes, or maybe less than that. Hey, Steph, how are you doing today? Well, we were talking about Lietecia Stauch. There was a body cam footage of the night that Gannon went missing. And then we talked about Kohberger, state's going to go for death penalty, the legal battle about the genetic genealogy stuff, which is the word that I hate the most right now. Listen, reading legal documents is already kind of tough, but reading legal documents that has a bunch of scientific jargon in it, that's even harder. Yeah, tough. I was tripping up on these words a lot. But next, we're gonna go into something that's pretty. I mean, all this true crime stuff, it's always really dark. But this one, this one was it was just so bad. It was just so bad. Very shocking. Lietecia. That was another one too. Next one that we're gonna talk about. So roughly about over a week ago, there was a body cam footage that was released, and it was about a dad who who essentially murdered 3 of his sons. And the body cam footage is pretty tough to watch. We're not going to watch that right now, but it is available if you guys want to watch it later on. The dad showed up for a preliminary court hearing a couple days ago, and this is him right here, Chad Doerman, sitting there looking like a damn idiot. We don't know what the motive is yet, although I feel like usually when you hear about cases like this, it's usually getting back at your significant other. And it's really sad to hear when there are times where you hate your significant other and you want to cause them more harm than... Sorry, that's my dogs. It's really sad when you hate your significant other more than you love your children, which I just don't understand how this makes sense. But essentially, he killed 3 of his kids. And this is a preliminary hearing. They're going to go over a little bit more details than what was initially released. But before we get to that, I was able to find the obituary. So sad. Here is the obituary right here. I know they already had a memorial service, but look at these 3 little boys. Look at how young they are. They're like babies. 3 little boys. I don't know. I don't understand how this guy could have done this. I want to believe that it was like, maybe this guy was really mentally ill, but at the same time, there are people out there that are just really evil and they just don't know how to control their anger. They don't know how to control their rage. So I also don't have a hard time believing that he did this out of spite and he wanted to get back at his significant other, possibly. It's just crazy. I think we found out from one of the initial court hearings that he had planned this for months. So I wonder what evidence they're going to have. But I honestly thought he was going to plead guilty and just plead guilty and then, get along with it. But he ended up pleading not guilty and, they're going to have to do a trial. Prosecutors already come out saying they're going to seek the DP. So we have 3 little boys here, Clayton, Hunter, and Chase Doerman. Clayton Doerman, 7 years old. Hunter Doerman, 4 years old. And Chase Doerman, 3 years old. Oh my God, they're so young. 3 brothers bonded together in life and now for eternity as God has reeled them into heaven for unending days of fishing, playing outside way past bedtime, laughing loudly, and nonstop giggling. They love unconditionally, sharing their big hearts with anyone who could make laugh, who they could make laugh and give love. Clayton, fondly known as Clayton Man, loved making Lego creations, riding his go-kart, telling jokes, singing and laughing, while loving his best pal, the dog that showed up in the body cam, Gatlin. His love language was giving gifts, whether it was be finding or creating or sharing treasures. He loved his family and often looked out for his brothers. Hunter, fondly known as Hunter Dog, loved going to the creek and catching frogs, and his love of baseball extended beyond the ball field to his bed, an attachment like an extra arm to connect him to his ball and glove as he slept. He loved calling his mom and sister, "Oh, pretty girls," and then he told them and telling them he loved them every day. Oh, this is so hard to read. Chase, fondly known as Chasers, loved swinging on swings, couldn't wait to be a baseball player, like his brothers. He loved playing dinos and pretending to be a superhero. He was the best cuddler, wanting his mama to stay close by to give her many hugs. He will forever be known as Mama's baby. They are survived by their loving family. So this is just like a whole sad ordeal. The mom witnessed like the whole thing. They have a sister as well, 16-year-old, who at some point had to leave the house and run to the fire station, try to flag down for help. Like, I don't know. This whole thing is it's just so traumatizing. I don't know. I just feel so bad for the family. And the mom having to witness this happen. Hey. Well, it's just, I don't know. It's just horrible. But let's watch the preliminary hearing. I have the transcript up, so I'll probably be hopping around a little bit. But look at this dude over here, looking so, I don't know, dumb. What's the word for this guy? I wonder if they're gonna go for not guilty by reason of insanity. I have the captions up.
Good morning. Just give us a second. So many lists.
Ooh, the audio is rough. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's up with this audio here.
Seven, State of Ohio versus Chad C. Doerman. Are you Mr. Doerman? Yes, sir. All right, Mr. Myers, Greg Myers is present as well.
Yes.
Ugh, just hearing his voice too. Ugh. Look at his demeanor. Ugh.
Mr. Stephen Haynes is present. Mr. Mark DeColvey, the prosecutor for the county, Ms. Laura Barron Allen, and Mr. Clay Tharp, correct?
Correct.
All right, let's make that record.
Certified lead counsel. We've already talked with Mr. Doerman. He is indigent, eligible for public defender representation. We'd ask the court to appoint us. I think it'd be appropriate.
All right,
So this is his public defenders. Man, they're like, ugh, I don't know. They must be hating it right now. They got to do their jobs.
Yeah, so ordered. I've signed that entry. I'll instruct the clerk, and she knows this, to send a notice to the Supreme Court of this indictment, but I want to put that on the record. Also, Mr. Haynes and Mr. Myers, there's a form from the Supreme Court. It's called an appointment form of trial counsel. I think the PD or public defender prepares that. Do you know what I'm speaking of?
Your Honor, Mr. Haynes and I will take care of that after we're done on record today.
That's good. Okay.
All right, so just paperwork stuff.
I think it falls to the court then to forward that to the Ohio Supreme Court.
I think you're right. And then the court will send its own entry to the Supreme Court verifying that...
All right, here are the charges.
Thank you, Your Honor. And yes, I could absolutely do that for the court. I wasn't sure since counts 1 through 3 are all charged under 290301A, if you'd like to address them in group.
Individually, yeah. Thank you.
Count 1, aggravated murder pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 290301A. There are multiple aggravating circumstances specifications attached to the underlying charge, including a victim under 13 specification, force of conduct specification, felony murder specification, and firearm specification. The possible penalty, if convicted on the underlying charge of aggravated murder, as well as any of the aggravating circumstance specifications, is recommendation of death, life without parole, life with the possibility of parole after 30 years, life with the possibility of parole after 25 years. The firearm specification carries with it 3 years mandatory, which must be served prior to and consecutive to any imposed prison sentence. There's also a possible fine of $25,000. If convicted of aggravated murder without
we don't care about the fine.
Circumstance specification, the possible penalties would be life without parole, life with the possibility of parole after 30 years, life with the possibility of parole after 25 years, life with the possibility of parole after 20 years, and again, the firearm specification would carry that 3 years mandatory, which must be served prior and consecutive to any imposed prison sentence. Again, same fine.
All right. Does the defense agree with the recitation relative to count 1, Mr. Myers and Mr. Haynes?
We do.
And Mr. Doerman, do you understand that? All right, as to count 2, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Count 2 is also charged pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 290301A.
Oh, every time we listen and hear him talk, like, and if you guys watch the body cam footage, him in the body cam footage, him talking in the body cam footage, oh, I don't know. It's just goosebumps. It was his demeanor and everything.
Aggravated murder and unspecified felony. And again, there are multiple aggravating circumstances specifications attached to that charge.
Wait, hold on a second. Ohio mom was recently arrested for murder after leaving her 16-month-old daughter home alone. 16-month-old? As she went for a 10-day vacation. Baby passed away to dehydration. Hello? Does she not have friends, family members? Why didn't she just bring the baby with her? Listen, I know some people leave their cats when they go on vacation for like a couple of days, you know? They have like the auto feeder. You have the kitty litter thing that like does like self-cleaning thing. But a 16-month-old? What do you expect a 16-month-old to do? Home alone? What do you do? Like leave fish sticks in the oven? Was this person an idiot?
The victim under 13 specification, course of conduct specification.
I haven't heard about that one yet.
Specification and a firearm specification. The possible penalties if convicted of the underlying crime of aggravated murder, as well as any of the aggravating circumstance specifications, would be death, life without parole, life with the possibility of parole after 30 years, or life with the possibility of parole after.
Hey, Queen. We don't know motive yet, but when I hear about cases like this, when you have a family annihilator, or you know, I don't know if he had any. I don't know if he planned on murdering his wife and his stepdaughter. But when you hear about cases like this, I feel like it's usually because maybe the wife is going to leave him. Maybe he feels that he's going to lose everything. And you know what? He's just like, fuck it. I don't know. We don't know. But when I hear about cases like this, it's usually because he wants to get back at the wife somehow, make her feel all this pain and agony. It could be why he left her alive.
25 years.
But we don't know yet.
The firearm specification, again, is 3 years mandatory, which must be served prior to and consecutive to any imposed prison sentence and a possible fine of $25,000. If convicted of...
No, look at this law enforcement right here. Having to sit next to this guy. I feel like he's so disgusted having to be near this guy. He's like, look at the looks he's giving him.
The underlying aggravated murder charge without any aggravating circumstance specification.
Dude, I'd be looking at him in disgust too.
Possible penalties are life without parole, life with the possibility of parole after 30 years, life with the possibility of parole after 25 years, and life with the possibility of parole after 20 years. Again, the firearm specification is that 3 years mandatory, as well as a $25,000 fine.
Thank you. Mr. Myers and Mr. Haynes does the, okay. And Mr. Doerman, you understand. As to count 3, Ms. Barron-Allen.
Thank you, Your Honor. Count 3 is also charged pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 290301A, aggravated murder, unspecified felony. It also...
my energy is the same as this dude's over here. Just look at this guy. Every time he talks, his demeanor.
Carries with it multiple aggravating circumstance specifications, the victim under 13 specification, course of conduct specification, and felony murder specification, as well as that firearm specification. The possible penalties if convicted.
Does the defense agree with the possible penalties that have been recited? Mr. Haynes, for the record, Mr. Haynes, Mr. Doerman, you understand? Thank you, Ms. Barron-Allen. As to count 4, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Count 4 is charged pursuant to
32-year-old pleaded not guilty to 9 counts of aggravated murder, 8 counts of kidnapping, and 4 counts of felony assault.
Ohio Revised Code Section 290301B, again, aggravated murder and unspecified felony. And there are multiple aggravating circumstance specifications attached to that count as well. The same aggravating circumstance specifications, the victim under 13, course of conduct specification, and felony specification, the 3 years mandatory, and the same fine of $25,000.
Thank you. Mr. Myers or Mr. Haynes, you agree. Mr. Doerman, you understand? Thank you. As to count 5, Ms. Barron-Allen.
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, count 5 is charged pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 290301B, aggravated murder and unspecified felony. Also attached are multiple aggravating circumstance specifications, the victim under 13 specification, course of conduct specification.
So they're going to read through all of this.
Thank you, Mr. Myers and Mr. Haynes. Mr. Doerman, you understand? Thank you, Ms. Barron-Allen. As to count 6, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, count 6 is charged pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, section 290301B, aggravated murder and unspecified felony. Attached to that count are multiple aggravating circumstances.
Thank you. Does Mr. Myers and Mr. Haynes, you agree with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Doerman, you understand? All right. Thank you, Ms. Barron Allen. As to count 7, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Count 7 is charged pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, section 290301C, aggravated murder, unspecified felony. Again, multiple aggravating circumstance specifications attached, including victim under 13 specification, the course of conduct specification, felony murder specification, and firearms.
Thank you, Mr. Haynes. Mr. Doerman, do you understand?
I just want to see a stupid response because in the other hearing, the hearing before this one, at some point he was like trying to like eke out some tears, and it seemed like nothing came out, so his face went back to being straight again. So I don't know. People were saying there were crocodile tears. I just want to know if he's going to try to shed any tears this time.
Thank you, Ms. Barron Allen. As to count 8, please.
Because you know what? When he killed his 3 kids, there was no tears coming out of him as he was being arrested. He sat on the porch with the rifle, and he was just sitting there. They arrested him, and all he cared about was the police, not messing with the dog. He said it was uncomfortable. He wanted to sit up. He wanted the wallet out of his pocket.
Thank you, Your Honor. As to count 8, again, that is charged pursuant to Revised Code, section 290301C, aggravated.
Mr. Myers and Mr. Haynes.
We agree, Your Honor.
Mr. Doerman, you understand? I'm sorry.
Honor.
Thank you. As
Yeah, you sit there and listen to all these counts.
to count 9, Ms. Barron Allen.
Again, count 9 similarly is charged pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, section 290301C, aggravated murder and unclassified felony. Attached are multiple aggravating circumstance specifications.
We agree, Your Honor.
Mr. Doerman, you understand? Thank you, Ms. Barron Allen. As to count 10, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Count 10 is charged pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, section 290501A3, as kidnapping, a felony of the first degree. There is also a firearm specification attached to that count. There is a presumption for prison attached to that count, and Reagan Tokes will impose prison sentence and a fine of $20,000.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Haynes. Mr. Doerman, you understand? All right.
So this part is going to get really hard to listen to. They're going to get into, the state's going to get into a little more detail of what happened. Just a little bit more, though. We're not going to get like a whole lot of detail.
Thank you. As to count 12, please.
Count 12, again.
Mr. Doerman, do you understand? Thank you. As to count 13.
All right, same shit. So it's just going to be him shrugging his head. I don't know.
Please.
Count 13.
I don't think there's many
also
tears
charged
coming out.
pursuant to Ohio.
Thank you. Mr. Myers or Mr. Haynes? Mr. Doerman, you understand? Thank you. Mr. Haynes, thank you. Mr. Doerman, you understand? Thank you. As to count 16, please.
16 is also charged pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, section
Jeez, this is
290501A2.
lengthy.
Kidnapping, a felony of the first degree, as well as a firearm specification. Again, there is a presumption for prison, and Reagan Tokes would apply.
Haynes?
We agree, Your Honor.
Mr. Doerman, you understand? All right, I think that covers the entirety of the indictment, Ms.
It does,
Barron.
Your Honor.
All right. At this time, Mr. Myers and Mr. Haynes, based upon the recitation of the indictment and all the possible charges and possible sentences, what is the plea of your client at this time?
Plea is not guilty, Your Honor.
All right.
Street reserved for trial later this week.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Because
I didn't hear what he said afterwards, but not guilty. I thought they were just going to do guilty. But I guess if you're facing the death penalty, possibly, you don't want to just go for a guilty. You want to try to like fight your way out of it. Bro, wasting time.
of the nature of
The judge should say, I think Mr. Myers touched on it, that it hasn't been quite 24 hours since he was indicted or read the indictment. So he's going to wait for 24 hours.
okay.
Probably going to be like not guilty because of insanity. The Lietecia thing.
Would you please, Mr. Haynes, step up, and then if you and Mr. Myers could sign as attorneys for Mr. Doerman, and then have Mr. Doerman sign. Are you comfortable with that, Mr. Taconi?
The Constitution says we're proved as evident and...
Continue.
Great.
Go on, continue.
Judge, I think...
Make a record.
Thank you, Your Honor. The court needs to have some understanding of the facts. What we have here is the planned slaughter of 3
Planned.
boys. ages 7, 4, and 3. The first one shot was the 4-year-old, shot in the house 2 times, then sustained 2.
Why 2 times? Why 2 times? This is where I think that he really wanted to hurt the wife. Why twice?
2 bullet wounds to the head causing his death. The second child shot was a 7-year-old who fled the residence, ran some 300 feet from the residence, and was gunned down from behind.
Can you imagine chasing? I don't know, man. When I was 7 years old, what was I, in 2nd grade? I wouldn't even be able to, I don't even know how you even process this as a kid. Because when you're a kid, your parents are supposed to be, you know, people that you're safe with. But you have to process that, like, your dad's dangerous. He's got a gun. He killed my younger brother. Now I need to run. Like, God, that's just so crazy. That's so wild. And the fact that he did run and this dumb fuck chased after him. I don't know. It's just so sickening. Yeah, I did see the interview with the neighbor saying that, like, he's not a very pleasant guy. He was always, like, yelling at his wife and kids, yeah.
He then approached this little boy who's injured, incapacitated, alive, and shot him in the head twice from close distance.
What is this twice thing? Is it like, I want to make sure you're dead? This is what I'm going to do to make sure you're dead. Shoot twice. So not only was he already injured, he goes up to him and shoots twice.
There were powder burns on the boy's head. And then he went after the 3-year-old. And there was a struggle with the mother. He ripped the child from the mother's arms and put a bullet in his head. Close range. Powder burns on the 3-year-old boy's head. Your Honor, those facts are important for the court to know in terms of this being a capital case. We find, Your Honor, my conclusion is that the proof is evident and the presumption is great, and that he be held without bail.
All right. Thank you. Defense has nothing to add?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court's going to order based upon Article 1 of the Ohio Constitution, Section 9, that's been amended on November 8th of 2022. The bond in this case be no bail at the present time. And what the court's going to do is prepare an entry that contemplates that, because my normal judgment entries do not contemplate Article 1, Section 9. So we'll put one together indicating the court's order of no bail. Anything from the defense at this time? Anything else before the court notes that the case is assigned to Judge Ferentz? And the court date, we want to work around schedules. Do we have a date?
Originally, it was set for July 5th, but there another day.
Is that a bad day?
Up to the attorney.
Can everyone do July 5th?
I can do that, Judge.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's July 5th again? When they assign it to a different judge or something? The case is assigned to Judge Ferentz in the court date. I want to work on the schedules of a date, July 5.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Myers?
The 5th would work. I might indicate, as I'm now reminded by co-counsel Mr. Haynes, we're before this court the following day on the appeal court's case, and I would wonder if the 10th or Obviously, I'll work with both court schedules.
Well, we want to work with your schedule, but I think the heightened security is a little too much for us to have both of them at the same time, because they're both death penalty cases.
Who would the other DP case? Ohio. I think Utah.
But I know you come a long way, but...
That's all right.
All right?
Part of the job.
All right.
So we'll be down here on the 5th for a pre-trial then?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're looking at a time, because I'm trying not to insert it on his regular docket so that Judge Ferentz has some... Thank you.
Mr. Doerman at length yesterday.
Thank you. Will the defense have any issue, I'm just asking, waiving time till the next hearing?
No, Your
Anything else?
Any questions, Mr. Doerman? All right. Court's in recess for this purpose.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, what's this?
Probably.
Oh, the interview's in here. Oh, thank you, Law and Crime. This is the DA.
30 years ago.
You guys keep saying that you planned this for months. Can you guys elaborate on it yet?
What I can tell you is this. First and foremost, I want to start out by expressing the deepest sympathy I have for this family, for this unspeakable tragedy. I can't go into a whole lot of facts, all right, because this is a death penalty case, and my goal is to have this man executed for slaughtering these 3 little boys.
I wonder when's the last time they executed someone in Ohio?
It is, but let me try to figure out a way to put this. It is an incomprehensible
2018
horror that he perpetrated on this family. So again, that is my most important focus right now, is to ensure that they are protected and they're safe. And my hope and wish and prayer is that someday they will be able to find peace.
Oh, that's gonna be so hard, man. That's three little boys. I hope she does find peace too, but man, yeah.
But factually, I've said what I said on the record, and I'm going to stick with that. All right.
Why was it, with how complicated the death penalty is in Ohio right now, and how much extra work it adds to your office, why was it important for you to seek this?
I'll let the facts speak for themselves. He slaughtered his 3 children in the most brutal fashion you can imagine, as I mentioned in court. The extra work is no extra work at all. It's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
This merits our attention, our devotion, and our effort.
Thoughts on that initial not guilty plea?
Yeah.
That has to be done. That has to be done. Any other questions?
Yeah, I guess if you're facing death penalty, I mean, you're not going to be like, okay, fine, I'll do guilty. He's going to try to fight his way out of it.
I'm about to wrap it up. Thank you.
All right, DA, you got a lot to do. We're rooting for you. The last time they executed someone in Ohio was in July 18, 2018, but I mean, it was for, when was he arrested? The state's last execution was July 18, 2018, when Robert Van Hook was put to death for killing a man he met in a Cincinnati bar in 1985. Was he sitting on death row for that long, or did they arrest him way later? On Friday, DeWine postponed execution scheduled for August, September, October to 3 dates in 2016. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes people think that when someone gets a death penalty, they're going to die right away. Sometimes it's 20 years later or more. So Chad Doerman could be 50 or something. A gay panic defense? What is that? What does that mean? Never heard of that before. I think last thing. Oh, this right here. Oh, I linked this obituary in the Discord if you guys want to take a look at it as well. They already had their memorial service, I think, maybe yesterday. I don't know if I saw this already, but did I already talk about this? Oh, Robert Van Hook tried to use it in explaining why he killed his victim. Oh, interesting. Was he trying to say that like gay person came on him and then like he panicked and killed them? Which one? Yeah, so this is for, you guys remember Alexi Treviso? This was back in the beginning of this year. I think literally 6 months ago on January 27. 19-year-old high school senior shows up with mom, complained of back issues, went in the bathroom. Couple minutes, maybe like 20 minutes after she left the bathroom, 20 to 30 minutes after, one of the housekeepers was cleaning everything out, found a dead baby in the bathroom and called others to come over, and yeah, the baby was dead. I think her defense team is arguing that it was like negligence of the hospital staff. Like imagine that, blaming the hospital staff when you've already traumatized them into finding a baby in the trash can, okay? But I think they're going to try to blame the hospital staff, and they're going to say that she didn't know she was pregnant, maybe. I don't know. I think her defense, one of her lawyer, I think her lawyer mentioned something about like them giving her like strong painkillers or something. But at the end of the day, I don't think it matters if she knew she was pregnant or not. At the end of the day, the baby was found in the trash can. So, but anyways, I think right here, potentially, where did I see this? Oh, here it is. Hearing date, jury trial, October 2nd. It's really quick of this year. So pretrial hearing set for September 11, and then jury trial set for October the 2nd. So if there's no delays, it might happen this year, and we'll see what happens with that. Because I know her mom was panicking because there was already another New Mexico teen who discarded her newborn baby, flung the baby in a trash can. Luckily, in that scenario, the baby lived, though. But yeah. Oh, wait and see. See if there's anything else. How are you guys doing today? Grim day as always. There was, oh my God. I was streaming, I was on Twitch the other day, and someone in my chat mentioned something about there was a new Ewu video about a babysitter who, I don't know if they killed the baby or if something happened accidentally with the baby, but they were taking care of like an infant. The infant died, and the babysitter went to the McDonald's or something and acted like nothing happened. You guys watch that? I haven't seen that yet. I was gonna watch it. I don't know. I was gonna watch it on like Twitch or something. But when I first heard about it, I was like, oh my God, like another crazy thing. I don't know. But sometimes when you're exposed to all this crazy shit, you kind of become numb to it. But there's always like some batshit crazy case that'll come around, and like, I don't know, there'll be some details about it that'll just so get you. Best Batman? You're asking the wrong. Well, actually, hold on a second. I like the older Batman. I know people didn't like the older Batman. They thought it was really cheesy. I like the older Batman. I grew up with it. The one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, with Uma Thurman, the one with Jim Carrey, the one with Penguin. I like the old Batman, but I would say the best Batman, Christian Bale, hands down. The Ben Affleck one, wait, no, wasn't there a Robert Pattinson one? There's a Robert Pattinson one that I got so bored. It was like 3 hours long or whatever. I couldn't get into that. But yeah, the Dark Knight ones were pretty good. But I really like the old Batman series though. The ones that with, I think, was it George Clooney that was Batman? Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. You posted the Ohio Momster in Discord? Okay. The mom is 31 years old. Girl, you're old enough to know better. My God. Why? Woman charged with murder after leaving her baby home alone. Where did she go for vacation? Was it like a new boyfriend that she was seeing and she didn't want the boyfriend to know that she had a newborn? Oh, we're in Ohio. Oh, God. Ohio mother has been charged with murder after leaving her 16-month-old baby home alone for 10 days as she went on vacation. What was her excuse? Oh my God. Is there an arrest affidavit for this? Christelle Candelario, 31, was arrested and charged after her baby girl Jalen was found unresponsive at their Cleveland home, police said. The youngster's body showed no signs of trauma. Investigators stated the child had been left alone and unattended for approximately 10 days and had subsequently died. An arrest affidavit states the suspect had traveled to Puerto Rico and Detroit on vacation. You wouldn't even go to Puerto Rico and Detroit? Detective Thelman Powell Jr. stated that affidavit that Miss Candelario told police that she had left her daughter at home all alone. Wait, what? Is there something mentally wrong with her? She's being so candid. Like, yeah, I left the baby at home all alone, unattended. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, hello? Can we find this arrest affidavit? What's her name again? I don't understand people like this. I don't understand child abusers. See if I can find the arrest affidavit. Oh, Law and Crime reported this. I didn't see this. I was on the other day. Oh my god. In Jalen's pack and play bin, police found stored blankets in a bottom liner. Saturated with urine. I don't get it. Why? I'm trying to see if I can get the arrest affidavit. I might be able to if I keep searching. Is there an arrest affidavit somewhere? Hold on a second. In the system, I can look her up. Wait, hold on a second. She worked? Candelaria had previously worked as a building substitute at Citizen Academy Glenville, an elementary school in Cleveland. What's a building substitute? Is that like building services? Like people who like do like janitorial stuff? Or what does that mean? High-waisted Marissa is the babysitter who killed the baby she was in charge, and then she dressed up the baby in a snowsuit and gave it back to the mom. What? Wait, is that the McDonald's thing that I'm talking about, or is that something else? Jesus. Would I pay $250K to see the Titanic? Heck no. There's like video footages you can watch. Nope. Hell no. Underwater stuff is so scary. No way. No way. Yeah, that's the McDonald's case we're talking about. Yeah, I might watch it when I'm probably just gonna like play some Diablo and then like watch it in the background. Jeez. I don't know. That day I wasn't ready to watch it, but now I think I'm ready to watch it. Miss Candelario is being held on a $1 million bond. She worked at Citizens Academy Glenville, an elementary school in Cleveland. What's a building? What does that mean? We couldn't believe she was gone, one neighbor who didn't want to be identified told News 5. Jalen was a happy baby, always smiling, always curious about stuff. She was a wonderful, wonderful baby. Another neighbor told the station that it was not the first time the suspect allegedly left her baby alone. We kept telling her not to leave her by herself. Not just me, my friend across the street too, but she always leave her by herself. Wait, what? I guess what do they mean by that? Like leave her by herself? Like did she run out to get like cigarettes for like 5 minutes or something like that? Or did they know that she was leaving the daughter alone for like extensive periods of time? I think Law and Crime might have more information. Oh my God. Candelario's neighbors repeatedly told news station that Candelario was known as an absentee mother. Neighbors told the station in August 2022, Candelario dropped Jalen off at their apartment, asked if they could watch the child for a weekend. However, they said that she disappeared for several weeks, either refusing to answer the phone or offering excuses of why. What? Hold up a second. We got some red flags in here. She left the kids for several weeks? Made excuses about why she wasn't able to get her baby? I was the one calling her saying, look, I need milk. I need money. I don't have money to buy milk for your baby. What am I supposed to do? One of the women said, recounting conversations and messages left for Candelario. They claim Candelario eventually picked up Jalen after about 6 weeks. 6? What the fuck? Did they not call child services? The woman repeatedly told the station they wish Candelario would have left the baby with them instead of just abandoning her all alone. Oh my God. 6? Oh wait, hey Storm. What's up? Hey Nacho, hello. Hi Gwendolyn. We kept telling her like call CPS. I don't know. Maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe CPS didn't do anything. I don't know. Jesus. Was there any other... Did I have anything else on my list? I don't think I did. Is there anything else happening today? I guess I can just go... Let me go on YouTube real quick. Sometimes things be popping up on YouTube. I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna edit my stream. I edit my stream and then I go on YouTube. I'm like, oh wait, there's something going on in here. Oh wait! Hello. The Kohberger stuff is up. Do we want to react to it though? It's like 30 minutes. I'm getting hungry. I'm starving. Oh, did you guys hear about the there were these people that were working with Harvard, and there are people that, like, you know, when you donate your bodies for, I don't know, for science, and hoping that they can, you know, like research and like find stuff about it, and like, I don't know, but like apparently there's these employees that worked with Harvard that were like selling body parts instead of like properly disposing or dealing with them. And there was actually a market of people buying body parts, like buying skin, buying brains, heads, and stuff like that. I don't know. This is wild. It was like these two like older couples too. Ugh. I hope they lock her forever and she gets jumped in the prison showers. I hope she has UTI forever. Just for display. I don't know. And apparently one of the persons was trying to make like human leather skin or something. Oh, you know what you would... I don't know. I don't know. Crazy. They've been charged. Pending. I feel so bad for the family members. This is a Kohberger stuff.
All rise.
Are y'all cool with me speeding up a little bit? I'm gonna speed up a little bit.
Thank you very much. Please be seated.
All right, wait, too fast, too fast. Can you guys hear?
Okay, let's get on the record, please. Thank you.
I'm gonna have to sound boost
We're
this.
on the record. This is State of Idaho versus Brian Kohberger, case number CR 29222805. Mr. Kohberger is in the court. He is represented by Ms. Taylor, Mr. Lobston, and Ms. Massett. The state is represented by Mr. Thompson and Ms. Jennings, also Mr. Nye and Ms. Beatty. And we're here for some motions, discussions.
He is. He's tall. Dude, that's a scary presence to have show up in your room out of nowhere at 4 a.m. in the morning. If it's him.
And before we get there, I want to
address, I mean, really everybody, about the revised amended dissemination order.
I can speed it up.
Apparently there's some misunderstanding about who it applies to and who it doesn't apply to, because what I thought, and this is 100% my responsibility, I use the term agents, and the revised order says that the prosecuting attorneys, defense attorneys, any agents of the prosecuting attorneys and defense attorneys.
Oh, I think this is in regards to the gag order. So, like, they don't want anyone involved with the case talking with the press. But there was one of the victims' families hired an attorney, and the attorney wanted to speak on behalf of the victim's family, I think. But I think the attorney wasn't sure if he or she could talk to the press or not. I think that's what it's
about. Are affected by this order. Apparently, some of the media interpreted that as it doesn't apply to law enforcement, but it does. So
oh, never mind. Just kidding. I'm wrong.
Enforcement is they are agents of the prosecuting attorneys.
I mean, I always heard that law enforcement couldn't talk to the media.
I'm going to issue another order, another revised order, just to make sure that that is clear, because people seem to be very confused about that. Agent, definition of an agent is one that acts or has the power or authority to act. Another definition is one empowered to act for or represent another. Okay. So I'm going to include law enforcement for the prosecuting attorney's agents, and for the defense attorneys, investigators.
Does this have to do with the New York Times article about how law enforcement was able to build a family tree out in order to identify Kohberger later on? Is that what we're getting in trouble for? Just curious. Bye, Morden.
So it's clear. I think it's sort of doubling down on the definition, but apparently that's necessary. I'm also going to add retained expert witnesses for each side because we don't want to have a trial in the media or in the public. We want it to be in the courtroom. Speaking
I think
of
it's
that,
about your size.
Comment on the cameras.
Or 6'1".
In the courtroom now. And I have deferred my decision about cameras. One of the things that's going to be really important, that is very important, is that the people with the camera and media need to follow the rules. And we've had some issues where people were pushing the envelope, particularly focusing on the tables where counsel sits. You are not to turn your cameras toward the top of those tables. And if you do that, you're probably...
Oh, to the top of those tables? Like try to see some documents or something? I was thinking about remember the Gwyneth Paltrow one where it's like, we can have cameras in the courtroom, but you can only point at the person that's speaking. Don't just randomly just point at Gwyneth Paltrow just because you want to see her reaction, right? But no, when they were pointing at the top of the tables trying to see some documents or something, like... This is Judge, by the way. His last name is Judge. Please, Judge. Hi, Judge. Oh, sorry.
You're going to have to leave the courtroom. Also, one of the things that happened in the Daybell case is that the cameras just continued to focus on the defendant. Don't do that. That's what brought the cameras to have to leave the courtroom.
Okay, the Gwyneth Paltrow one, okay.
In that case. And what I would prefer, if you want to continue to have cameras in this courtroom, is to back off and not... we have that. Yeah, make sure that's muted. Make sure that we just have the totality of what is happening in the court. And
no, you cook. That's a major one right there.
not just focus, for example, on Mr. Kohberger's face. So that was what happened in that case, and it's not appropriate.
Okay, Judge.
One other reminder to counsel, speak, and this is to myself, to speak into the microphone.
Hi, Joe.
All right, I think those are...
Oh, thank you. Please, Judge, please. I love it when judges remind people to speak into the microphone. Okay, we need to hear it clearly. Thank you.
General announcements or cautions, and I think we've sort of boiled things down to some issues on motion to compel discovery.
Okay.
Some of those issues have been resolved, some have not. So let me go to you, Ms. Taylor, to start off. Where do we start?
Your Honor, we would request that we start on defendant's motion to compel and second motion to compel. I believe the third motion to compel will be heard on a different date.
True.
As it relates to the two motions to compel, and I'll present my arguments whenever the court's ready, but I can direct the court exactly to the numbers in those motions to compel that are still up for discussion today and request approval from the court.
Excellent. I'm ready.
On the original motion to compel, we are only seeking the court to order number 6 be complied with in that particular motion.
Number 6? What was number 6?
Number 6. And so this is the motion to compel discovery that was filed on May 4th.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
May 4th? Oh, I don't know what that is.
Number 6.
You can look it up, but I'm lazy. Maybe the judge will do it.
And that is request number 160.
That is for request number 160, and that was in the second supplemental discovery request.
Okay, thank you. All right. And we're getting setting. Okay. Number 6.
Number 6 on that one, yes. On the second motion to compel, Your Honor, we are leading the court to order on request number 1, number 4, number 5, and I think that we have a plan for the other numbers, so it doesn't give us very much.
Thank you. Let me make sure we're looking at the same page. Okay, number 1 is request 1. Number 4 is request 23.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, it's number 2, request 4.
Okay, I apologize.
I have a question. Have we heard from Kohberger's family? Let's say you were framed for something, for a crime that you didn't do. I'm sure you'd be allowed to communicate with your family members, and your family members would be shouting out that you're innocent. Like, I don't know, I know, I get it, he can't talk to the press directly, but maybe he would talk to his friends and family members, and they could be like, he's innocent, he didn't do it. Have we heard anything like that at all? Because, you know, if you're sitting in jail for something you didn't do, I feel like you'd be a loud ass motherfucker. I don't know.
Number 2, request 1.
I'm saying that, like, you know, for normal people who are framed, right? You think you would hear something, you know? He's saying that he didn't do it. I mean, I haven't heard anything from his family or anything, or his friends saying, like, he's innocent, you know? I'm sure he's talking to someone. Maybe no one wants to talk to him.
And number 5, which is
Well, I'm not saying that, like, his family thinks he's innocent, or I'm not saying that, like, I think he's innocent, right? I think he's fucked. But what I'm saying is that, like, you know, if he really didn't do it, you would hear something about, like, you know, him saying that, like, oh, it wasn't me. Like, get me out of here. Get me out of here. You know, screw law enforcement. I'm coming after you, law enforcement. Ah, or something like that. I just feel like we haven't really heard from his family, him, anyone.
request 109.
All right. That's the second motion to compel discovery.
Correct.
Yeah, the last thing I heard about his family was that they were just going to cooperate with law enforcement or something. And they were just going to, you know, they made a little statement towards the victims too, that they felt sad for the victims and stuff like that. But yeah, it was like a very neutral statement, but not a statement where it's like, oh, Brian didn't do it. He couldn't have done it. He's a great guy, you know?
About those? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Your Honor, first, I want to start with talking about the discovery process. As the court knows, we have been representing Mr. Kohberger since the very end of December.
All right, these are the court documents that I was reading earlier.
Of 2022. And during the course of the last several months, there has been a lot of discovery that's been requested and a lot that's been supplied. I come here asking the court to compel discovery. I'm seeking an order directing that we receive this discovery. I'm not seeking any other kind of sanction. I don't come here saying that the prosecutor has done something wrong. I come here saying that there are things that we have a disagreement about whether I should get them or when I should get them, and we seek a court order to assist us in this regard.
Ooh,
Yesterday,
okay.
we filed an exhibit that related to our motions to compel, and the purpose of that exhibit was to show the court how the discovery is coming in and what we are reading through to try to find the information, and to let the court know that our office is making extraordinary efforts. Mr. Kohberger's team works nonstop, and when we asked for discovery, it's because we have reason to believe it exists. So I wanted the court of counsel to be aware it's not a fishing expedition. These are real items that are really necessary to investigate this case and prepare Mr. Kohberger's defense. So with that as the background and the frequent communication with the prosecutor's office to try to obtain the materials we need, we have come to an impasse in a few areas, and that's what brings us to court today. As the court knows, discovery is governed by statute 1309 and Idaho Criminal Rule 16. And the purpose of discovery is really to prevent an unfair trial, to prevent trial by surprise, and also to protect a charged person's rights to meet their defense. It protects their Sixth Amendment rights to have a sufficient
Who the camera person right now? What did the judge just say? You can't be just facing the camera, the judge. Kohberger. At least being conspicuous about a half Ann Taylor in the frame too. Yeah, get us kicked out, cameraman.
I prepared counsel, I should say, as we have a duty to investigate the case. So in preparing our case for Mr. Kohberger, we've asked for several things that we still need. I'll talk first about request number 6 in the first motion to compel, and that stems from discovery request 160. It's training records. These are training records of 3 specific police officers. Your Honor, we have not asked for training records for every officer that has had anything to do with the case. I would not want to stand here and let the court think that this is an exhaustive list of the officers that we might need training records for. But these are 3 officers that we've requested it for, and the state has indicated they're not willing to give us the training records.
Ooh, training records of 3 officers. I wonder if it was the officers that initially showed up at the scene. Maybe an officer that found the knife sheath. You guys hear about something about a glove being found by someone else or something like that? I don't know if that's real or not, but I kept hearing about that.
These 3 officers are officers that have each conducted critical interviews with critical witnesses in a case, made decisions about the interviews, made decisions about evidence, and conducted other kinds of investigations.
Oh,
We seek their training records to understand their processes. The training records, Your Honor, they are records that we've been able to obtain from various police agencies in the past. In this circumstance, they're not records that I can find on my own. These are not things that are on the internet. They're not going to just hand them over to me. The 2 of the officers that we've requested them about are Idaho State police officers. I have often received training records for Idaho State police officers in the preparation of other cases during the course of my career. They are imperative for us to understand the specialty in interrogating and interviewing people and for making the decisions that they make with regard to things taken as evidence in the case or things followed up on or not followed up on. So that is the purpose for those records, and we're asking the court to order the state to provide the training records for those 3 officers.
I don't know. I'm starving right now, dude. I'm starving.
Moving on then to our second motion to compel. And what we are looking for is a lot of information from the FBI CAST team as well as the FBI forensic examiner team. What we're talking about here is the CAST team are the FBI examiners that use cell phone records to provide a lot of information that found its way into the probable cause affidavit that the state relied on in arresting Mr. Kohberger. I had the opportunity to meet with the prosecutor, and they indicate that we will be getting those items in number 1 and number 6 disclosed to us, but we don't know when. So I'm asking this court to issue an order with a date certain to obtain those records. These are bits of investigation that the FBI conducted that relate to Mr. Kohberger's cell phone, and the state has relied on that in their affidavit to say that Mr. Kohberger was in certain places at certain times. So these are bits of information and analysis that's been done since December. We are now at the end of June. We do not have those records yet, Your Honor. They are something that's been relied upon by the state for the PC affidavit to arrest Mr. Kohberger, as well as to obtain a variety of search warrants.
No, I'm not Filipino. It's a joke because I tried making pancit a long time ago, and it turned out to be shit. It was so bad.
Information that the state has agreed we should have, so we ask the court for an order with a deadline to get that. I want the court to know I don't think that Mr. Thompson or Ms. Jennings are trying to withhold this. I think they'll give it to me when they have it, but I think an order from the court saying this is the date certain may help them get the information a little bit more rapidly.
Okay, so she wants it ASAP.
I'll move on to our last request, and that's number 2 in the second motion to compel, request number 4, and that has to do with the FBI forensic examiner that told the state to look for a white Hyundai Elantra. This is the examiner that originally there were certain years looked for, and that year range was expanded. I believe I have the communications between the police department and the FBI about how that date range changed, but what I don't have is a report from the examiner. I did receive the CD, curriculum vitae, from about the examiner late yesterday from the prosecutor's office, so I'm asking the court to order a deadline for the report to be given to the defense.
Bye, Queen.
The court's read the probable cause affidavit that led to Mr. Kohberger's arrest, and the court can see that This vehicle identification was heavily relied on by the state to arrest Mr. Kohberger, as well as to obtain a lot of other search warrants. This is information that is very necessary for us to prepare our case. I don't think Mr. Thompson and Ms. Jennings are withholding anything. I think they don't have it, but I think
I thought they just didn't they look through like neighborhood cameras and stuff like that, traffic light cameras or something, to see what cars was in the area during the murders.
we need a court order with a deadline so that we can get that. As the court is aware, the state has a duty to provide discovery to the defense. As the court is aware that not producing discovery, especially when it's material, can be a due process violation. And as the court is aware, the state has filed its notice of intent to seek death against Mr. Kohberger. These are critical, relevant materials, all of them, including the police training records. They're necessary for us to prepare and present our defense of Mr. Kohberger. They're necessary for us to do our investigation. They're necessary for us to prepare our case and our motion practice moving forward. These are things that we need to have. There is a heightened standard now that the state has filed its notice of intent to seek death, and these are very relevant, critical bits of information. They are discoverable, and we're asking the court to order that they be supplied to us.
Why are you bringing Gandalf into this?
Mr. Thompson or Ms. Jennings? Anything?
So, Ms. Taylor's correct.
Talking about the prosecutor?
She has everything that the state has in our possession. And we have worked diligently and consistently in getting her all the information that we have in a quick fashion. To date, we have discovered approximately about 13,000 pages of reports.
13,000?
Over
13,000 photographs?
10,000 tips. And over 51 terabytes of audio and video information. So we are down to just a few points of disagreement.
Sorry, Mike.
Oh, is it okay if I
Yes,
start?
yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
First,
thanks, Judge.
With regard to item number 6 on the defendant's first motion to compel discovery, this involves training records of a couple of officers. Again, these are officers who the state would argue are not material to the case. They've interviewed other witnesses. They wouldn't even be called by the state to testify at trial.
Okay.
And the state objects to this because training records of specified officers aren't included within Rule 16. And they haven't offered any reason as to why this would be needed for the preparation of their case. Again, these are investigators who have gone out and just interviewed some witnesses within the case. So we'd ask that you rule that this is outside Rule 16. I would just remind the court that several hundred investigators have been involved in this case. Our concern with allowing training records for these few, which we can't understand why there's a substantial need for these particular ones, wouldn't open the door to us then having to go and obtain training records for these hundreds of other investigating officers who've been involved, some of which are outside of our control. Moving on to the second motion to compel. As to item number 1, regarding cast information. Ms. Taylor has everything that we have. I
don't know if you give him like a little hat, it looks more like an Amish dude, but maybe he could be a grand wizard. I can't see from his face.
So that includes reports from MPD officers. What she is seeking is a specific report from the FBI cast team, which I have indicated to her is in its final stages of review, and we are anticipating receiving sooner rather than later, and as soon as we do, we will turn that over.
Sooner than later.
Well, I don't have a date certain, but within the next few weeks.
Few weeks.
I think Ms. Taylor wants a date.
I don't have a date.
If I'm not mistaken.
I've asked for a date, but that is not how the federal bureaucracy works.
That's, how about we say something like July 14th, unless there's some reason that they can't get that to you.
No objection.
Is that what you, Ms. Taylor?
Yes, Your Honor. And then the state has substantially complied with request number 4, which is the same types of information, but related to the identification of the vehicle. We'd ask for the exact same date certain of July 14th, only to obtain, if there is one, a potential report if it's outstanding.
Acceptable. Ms. Taylor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again,
Oh, we about to get in trouble again.
Itching that.
Zooming in on Kohberger.
Nothing further. I think that takes care of everything.
Thank you, Ms. Jennings. Anything to respond to, Ms. Taylor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who's coming after you?
On the police training records. I am aware that over 120 officers were involved in the investigation in this case. I am not asking for all 120 officers. I will tell the court that likely there are other officers' training records that I will want. This is within Idaho Criminal Rule 16. These are records, documents, and objects that may have information relevant to Mr. Kohberger's investigation and defense. These are records that are likely of witnesses. Whether or not the state calls them, they are likely to be witnesses. The three that I'm asking for now, they have critical roles at various stages. One of the officers did a stillman search for...
Dude, this is crazy. The trial is like currently set for October 2nd, I think. Is it October 2nd or mixed? I think it's October 2nd. October 2nd. That's in 4 months, man. That's a lot. That's a lot to do. I wonder if she has any other clients or is Kohberger her only one? She must have other clients as well, dude. Holy shit. This is so much work.
2011 to 2013, a bail offers to give to the FBI to look through. One of them, that same officer assisted in the search program. This same officer interviewed witnesses from the scene of 1122 King Road on the 13th of November. This officer did follow up with some of the key witnesses in the case. This officer signed an Ada County lab agreement, and this officer handled and collected evidence. The second officer that I seek the information from did an interview with a key witness that's expected to testify when this case goes to trial. This officer also mentioned a specialty of working with victims and trauma victims. I think those training records are very relevant. The interview of this key witness was one of multiple interviews of this same key witness by various law enforcement officers. There's a lot of information in the various interviews that's going to come into trial. This officer may well be subpoenaed by the defense to come to trial. That person's training records are very relevant. The last officer did multiple interviews, I think a dozen or so, many of them after the arrest of Mr. Kohberger. This officer also interviewed key witnesses in the case. This officer attended the autopsy proceedings. This officer followed up on tips. This officer made decisions about the tips that were given to law enforcement. And this officer also collected bits of evidence. Those functions that police officers make daily in their jobs, they make decisions about a case that later comes to court. They make decisions about a case the state's going to present against Mr. Kohberger. They talk to key witnesses. How they do their job, how they were trained to do their job, and what they rely on is incredibly important. When they take the stand, they will say, based on my training and experience, Idaho Criminal Rule 16 talks about witnesses. This is information that the defense needs to conduct its investigation.
I mean, he may have possibly left a knife sheath at the crime scene.
Any response to that?
I'm sorry. He allegedly. That sounds better. Allegedly.
Not necessarily, other than just to reiterate that this isn't covered by Rule 16, except for if the state were going to rely upon these witnesses and call them at trial, and then at that point, we would furnish all of that. Much of what Ms. Taylor is saying is just pure speculation.
You could say pure speculation, except she just had quite a list of what these particular officers were involved in the investigation. So, we'll sort that out.
Wait. Judge, where's your microphone now? Why am I having a hard time hearing you?
Is that it with the motions to compel?
For today.
For today, of course.
I know, 4 months,
No
man.
motions from the state. All right.
A lot of work to do from here and now. Now and here. Here and now, here and later.
Case law and get a written decision. So with that, we're adjourned. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your day.
Okay, I thought they were going to talk about the, let's see. Okay, I thought they were going to talk about the whole genetic genealogy stuff. Oh, thank God, it was something else. All right, guys, that's the Kohberger stuff. I don't know. His trial was set for October 2nd. Look at my calendar. Little chihuahua. Is it October? Oh no, so October 2nd is the Treviso one. When is Kohberger set? Isn't it set for October as well, though? He ain't no Judge Newman. Listen, you haven't given Judge time to shine, okay? Oh wait, no. Is this Judge? No, Judge is getting all the judges mixed up. This is Judge, right? I think so. I was like, wait, maybe Judge was the Petito v. Laundry one, but I think that's a different judge. That's a female judge. You know, Judge Newman actually did an interview recently, another one with Court TV about the Murdoch trial stuff. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's Court TV. Court TV? Oh. Judge Newman. Is it this one? Ah! Fix the audio. Oh, I'm sorry. Whoops. Court TV is like really loud. Vindipolitan.
Mr. Murdaugh, I sentence you to the State Department of Corrections on each of the murder indictments in the murder of your wife, Maggie Murdaugh. I sentence you for love so much.
I was Judge Newman sentencing Alec Murdaugh after the case, and it was a real sentencing. And you know, sometimes judges just throw out numbers, go through the motions. Not Judge Newman. That's not the way he holds court. And you know, he took time and everything else. But Judge Newman appeared this morning on NBC's The Today Show. Let's watch.
Oh, it was on Today's Show.
Do you think that he'll be haunted by his wife and son? No, I think so. It has to be. I cannot imagine him having a peaceful night knowing what he did. I felt sorry for him. I wanted to give him an opportunity to say something.
And what did Murdaugh say with his opportunity to say something? He said, I didn't do it. I didn't kill Bags and Paul. I didn't do it.
That's taken a lot of people back. He felt sorry for Alec Murdaugh, the double murderer, the killer. I want to play you some of the back and forth between Judge Newman and Alec Murdaugh during the sentencing. Might give you a little more perspective for why he would say, hey, I feel sorry for Alec Murdaugh, the double killer. Take a look.
And I know you have to see Paul and Maggie during the night times when you're attempting to go to sleep. I'm sure they come and visit you. I'm sure.
All day and every night.
Yeah, I'm sure. And they will continue to do so. And reflect on the last time they looked you in the eyes, as you looked the jury in the eyes. I don't know a person who's always been such a gregarious, friendly person and cause their life to be tangled in such a weave web, such a situation that yours have spun into.
Some people have dark secrets, tangle of lies. I don't know, man. What is this right here?
My wife, Maggie, and I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my son, Paul.
Don't believe you.
Judge Newman, I mean, extremely thoughtful. But, you know, from my perspective, I can't feel sorry for Alec Murdaugh.
Nope.
In any sort of respect. I mean, this is a man who lied and cheated and harmed a lot of people and then blew his son's brains out, like right next to him with a shotgun, and then hunted down.
Oh my God, Vinny. Vinny is such a real one.
Down his wife and the mother of his surviving son. So I could never utter those words. Judge Newman did. I want to get some reaction tonight from our think tank. Franz Bogart is with us. Molly Palmer.
Oh, was that it? Was that that's all we got from the interview? Okay. It's only 4 minutes. We'll watch the rest.
Ladies first. Sorry, Josh.
Well, I mean, I think that empathy always has a place in our system. I understand that perhaps you and many people can't get there, but I think it's something that, especially those of us in criminal defense, always tap into. And one thing that Judge Newman spoke about, I think very artfully in that interview, was that the person he was sentencing, he didn't believe to be the same person who at one time was a prominent lawyer, who at one time was a family man. He referenced his addiction. He referenced the quantity of drugs he believed that he had been under for so long. And I think the empathy that he talks about stems from him understanding that somebody at their absolute worst point is not that person entirely. And I think that's the type of perspective we want on the bench.
And there is no product of creation that is beyond redemption, that is pure.
You know, I felt bad. If anything, I think I felt bad for his lawyers. Not really Harpootlian, I guess, but Jim Griffin. I feel like Jim Griffin really believed Alex Murdaugh. And then at some point, Jim Griffin was like, oh, shit, this guy's guilty. Oh, man, now what? Oh, God, I'm stuck with him.
Evil. And these are two gentlemen that knew each other and their families knew each other. This is a small community. They were intimately familiar with each other.
But there was no acceptance of responsibility. There was no acceptance of responsibility.
Because Mr. Murdaugh is going to go down in history protesting his innocence the entire time.
And which I don't feel bad for him.
Vinny, which I don't feel bad for him.
Problem is, that judge, who is an experienced judge, knows
Hi,
that
Lan.
Murdaugh is going to do an
Hi.
appeal. It is often common in state and federal court after the trial, at sentencing, while there is going to be an appeal, for the defendant not to do a colloquy, for the defendant to maintain their innocence. What did he expect him to do? Say, well, okay, judge, even though I'm going to appeal this, I really did do this and I'm guilty. I thought the judge on NBC was absolutely disingenuous. I don't think he feels sorry for Murdaugh at all.
What? Oh, hold on a second. This guy's going hard on Newman. Hold on. Who is this guy over here in the white?
The problem is that judge, who is an experienced judge, knows that Murdaugh is going to do an appeal. It is often common in state and federal court after the trial, at sentencing, while there is going to be an appeal, for the defendant not to do a colloquy, for the defendant to maintain their innocence. What did he expect him to do? Say, well, okay, judge, even though I'm going to appeal this, I really did do this and I'm guilty.
No, I didn't think he was gonna. I don't think he expected Murdoch to say that.
I thought the judge on NBC was absolutely disingenuous. I don't think he feels sorry for Murdoch at all. The entire sentencing was him throwing salt in every single room. He's putting him away for life. Like, talking about this, talking about that, and like talking about how he must be seeing the deceased. I just don't see that he's really feeling sorry for him. And so, and maybe, Vinny, maybe it's just I don't like trial judges doing interviews on NBC while the matter isn't yet even on appeal. I don't feel bad for Murdoch at all. I just don't like what was going on there.
I'll say that it's questionable for a judge to have an interview on such national television while something's so fresh and still under appeal. But I'll completely disagree.
Well, there were things he didn't go into because he couldn't.
Exactly.
So,
but I
Oh, I guess maybe he did a longer interview. I didn't watch the entire interview, you know? I didn't watch the entire interview. Jesus.
believe that that was the most genuine human connection and authentic moment from the entire trial, because that was Judge Newman.
I think when Judge Newman meant, when he said that he felt bad for Murdoch, I think what he meant was that he really, he loved Maggie and Paul at some point, but because because he was haunted by his demons, you know, owing a bunch of money, maybe the fake drug addiction thing, that at some point that he just succumbed to it. Do I believe that? Fuck no, man. I think he was a greedy motherfucker and he didn't care who had to take down, okay? No.
Opening up about his own personal disappointments because of the love and...
But I mean, Judge Newman kind of when he was giving the sentencing, he talked about it, you know? So I can see why Judge Newman said that he felt sorry for Murdoch.
But he knows the Murdoch family has had for the court system, despite their many crimes and problems and errors and evils.
Because I don't think he believes that Murdoch hated his wife, hated his son. It was just that, you know, Murdoch had this other fucking demon. I guess we can call it that. A demon that took priority over his family and kids, you know, and he was like, okay, family and kids got to go because I got to make sure that I stay afloat of this and make sure I don't go down for this and make sure that I don't go down for the financial crimes, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I think that's what Judge Newman meant, but
still a connection about our system of justice that they'd worked in for decades.
Do you think that Murdoch's sitting there doesn't realize he's never getting out of prison? Because it's not just this case. Even if this gets appealed, the financial crimes and everything else are putting him behind bars for all these. He's not getting out.
I think when your life devolves to that point, the only thing you hold on to is this inner narrative that maybe...
Yep. And I think at this point, the reason why Murdoch is fighting so hard in these court documents and stuff like that, because he ain't got nothing better to do, okay? He ain't got nothing better to do. This is like the highlight of his days, okay? He's got something to look forward to. He ain't got nothing better to do, man.
So far removed from reality. But
the moment all the trial stuff is gone, he's just gonna be bored sitting in prison. He's not gonna have Harpootlian to talk to. He's not gonna have Jim Griffin to talk to. He just ain't nobody gonna talk to him. He's just gonna be rotting in prison, doing nothing, sports betting or whatever the fuck he was doing, you know? So
it's the only thing that keeps you going. I think we find clients that fall into this.
How about talking about redemption? How about acknowledging what you did? How about asking for forgiveness? Maybe finding God, maybe something along those lines, rather than holding out for my attorneys to find some little technicality so I can get a new trial and get convicted again.
Are you suggesting that had he said, Judge,
go Vinny,
you're right,
go
I did
Vinny.
it. Yes. I did it. You would feel better about Murdoch? Because I don't think you would. I think you would feel the same way about Murdoch sitting here. The only difference would be he would have just torpedoed his own appeal, which we might all be okay with. But
it would be even more aggravating to know that he'd wasted all that time and effort by having a trial and destroying all these people's lives if he was so free to admit it. You're not going to get some sort of mea culpa at the, you guys finally got me. Yeah. No, that's not the way that works. Maybe on TV.
Vinny disagrees hard. Yep, he tried to hire Cousin Eddie. Cousin Eddie. Any updates with Cousin Eddie? All I know is Cousin Eddie lost a lot of weight when he was in... Or no, he gained a lot of weight, actually. I think there was reports saying that Cousin Eddie gained a lot of weight when he was in when he was in prison. No, usually when people go to prison, they lose weight. But Cousin Eddie, he gained weight. All right, what else was there? Anything else? Oh, we have the rest of the interviews up. Jeez. Sorry, I'm seeing if there's anything else. I think that's it for today. All right, guys. Just trying to see if there's anything else. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. That's it for today. I'm starving. I'm hungry. And we've been streaming for a little bit. Tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to stream on YouTube unless something randomly pops up. I might pop into YouTube. We'll see. I feel like the YouTube streams are usually really random. So make sure you guys have your notification on. If you want, join the Discord. Have your notifications on there. And then if there's any cases you want me to cover, we have a true crime section. You can post in the Discord. I'll take a look at it. I think tomorrow though, I do want to do some true crime related stuff on my Twitch. I'm gonna stop by. I'm just gonna watch. There's an Ewu body cam of babysitter McDonald's. If you guys heard about it, you guys heard about it. But we might watch it on stream tomorrow while I play like Diablo or something. I don't know. We'll see. But oh wait, no, I have to play Final Fantasy. We'll see, I guess. But anyways, guys, yeah, I don't know. The streams are usually kind of like sporadic, random. The updates are in Discord, so join the Discord if you guys want the updates. Other than that, thanks for hanging out. If you guys miss any parts of the stream, I'll usually have the stream uploaded. I'll have the well, actually the beginning of the stream. I was on mute for like 3 or 4 minutes. I wonder if it's easy for. I don't think it's easy for YouTube to edit that part out. I don't know. But anyways, guys. Oh, you know what? There was some other Alexi Treviso stuff that I wanted to watch with you guys. That's just been marinating for a little bit, so we might watch some of that. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you guys had a good day. I will see y'all later. And yeah, I also stream on Twitch as well. If you guys want to hang out, I do gaming stuff on there. Feel free to stop by, say hi. And other than that, thanks for joining and hanging out on YouTube. I appreciate the chatters. Thanks for keeping me busy. And I'll see you guys later. I honestly, it's because my app, my microphone app thing was down and I rebooted it, but then something else caught my attention and then I forgot it. And then when I was talking on stream for like 3 minutes and someone was like, "Are you talking? Hello, we can't hear you." And I was like, "Ow!" So yeah, there's that. But anyways, guys, have a great week. If I don't see you, I mean, I might see you this week. Today's like Tuesday, right? I might see you guys. So take care. I'll see you guys later. And yeah, thanks for hanging out.